gets another start today.
Yeah, absolutely. It surprised us both, given the result they had. Beating 3-2 against Wolves, and that front three were very, very good. But Calvert-Lewin's got another chance now today, and it's whether he can take it and help this front line get a result here at Bournemouth.
So Karen Carney with us here at the Vitality Stadium. Everton very, very close to the pitch here, actually. Great view of the action. Everton in their bright blue shirts with white trim, white names and numbers on the back, white shorts and white socks with the blue tops, playing from right to left in the first half, and Bournemouth in that sort of AC Milan style, vertical black and red stripes, black shorts and black socks. Home fans, as you can hear, in good voice. And as we were saying right at the top of the show, this is a Premier League fixture that has produced plenty of goals. 8 games, 31 of them so far. Josh King thought he was fouled there. Dominic Solanke also, but Bournemouth have kept it moving. Billings ball to the left. Rico slides one in on the angle towards the near post. And Jordan Pickford comes out all in green and grabs it with both hands. Karen, our producer Rob Nothman was watching Jordan Pickford quite closely in the warm-up, and he was getting a little annoyed with himself because he wasn't quite at his sharpest. Can that affect you?
Well, we always used to laugh as players that sometimes you could have the best warm-up and play horrendous in the game, and have the worst warm-up and have the best game. So, you can get frustrated with little standards, but it's ultimately when that whistle goes at how you perform. And to be honest, I never used to take the warm-ups. If it was bad, I never used to let it get into my head, really. Just as long as the whistle starts and the game was good to go, as long as I was there, I was good.
I thought for a second you were going to say you didn't take the warm-up seriously, and then you'd have had your former managers listening.
I just kind of backtracked a little bit. No, but warm-ups are just about getting warm, getting into the rhythm, finding your feet, and if you make a few mistakes, you'd rather it be in the warm-up than in the game.
Former England international Karen Carney here at Bournemouth-Everton. It's 0-0. Aaron Ramsdale in goal for Bournemouth. This back four, new look back four. Stacey at right back, Rico at left back, Steve Cook and Nathan Ake the centre backs, Lewis Cook and Philip Billing in central midfield, Josh King and Harry Wilson wide, with Callum Wilson and Dominic Solanke up front. Sigurdsson's pull back into the Bournemouth penalty area is intercepted by Philip Billing. Wears number 29 for Bournemouth. His clearance is deflected into the path of Richarlison to Iwobi. First time shot blocked and behind for an Everton corner.
Yeah, Richarlison there looking very sharp in this early stages. He's been the key man for Everton. He started off the season quite well, but wasn't really taking his chances, and he saw at Wolves he started to now find the back of the net, and he'll be key today if Everton are going to get a result here. Yeah,
Marco Silva wants more goals from all his attacking players. Alex Iwobi has signed for the club and scored 2 headers in his last 2 games. Early set-piece opportunity here for Everton in bright sunshine on the south coast. Luca Digne with his left foot curls it into the far post. Nathan Ake jumps highest, heads it away. Sigurdsson kills it stone dead on his left foot. Lovely control under pressure. Plays back to the halfway line, and actually Everton have had to come all the way back to Jordan Pickford. Pickford races out of the penalty area under pressure from Harry Wilson and clears, and this could be awkward for Stacey, who knocks the ball into Richarlison, gets slightly lucky. It comes off Richarlison and goes behind for the goal kick.
See, if I was Everton, knowing that Stacey's pretty much making his debut and he's come from League One football, I would be putting that ball on him every time. And if I was Iwobi or Richarlison up against him, I would be hunting him down and making it really difficult and putting him under a lot of pressure today if I was them.
Aaron Ramsdale, Bournemouth's keeper, all in yellow, clears with his right foot. It drops in central midfield. Billing is hunting Sigurdsson, manages to win the ball. It bounces off him, and Michael Keane plays back to Jordan Pickford, who traps it underneath his studs and then drills one diagonally from right to left across the field. Good chest control from Stacey, gets his pass away. Lewis Cook goes sliding in, very committed, took the ball. Iwobi was almost caught in the follow-through, and Marco Silva, I think, thought about having a word to the referee about the challenge and then decided against it. The technical areas are actually in a little strip of shade here on the touchline in front of us, but Marco Silva in short sleeves, casual polo shirt, black tracksuit trousers, watching his team early on. 0-0 here, and on the ball coming forward with Richarlison across to Sigurdsson, 30 yards out in the inside right channel, takes another touch, fires the cross in, and Ramsdale slaps it over his own crossbar with both hands. It's behind for another Everton corner, and just by Ramsdale's reaction you sense he was almost caught out there.
Yeah, it looked like it was he definitely was going for the cross, and he's whipped it in, and it's gone in nearly as a shot, and he's had to tip it over the bar. But Sigurdsson was definitely looking for the cross there, and he's just got his connection wrong, but it's saved and gone out for a corner.
If you're not across your Bournemouth, Aaron Ramsdale, 21 years old, chosen ahead of the likes of Asmir Begovic and Artur Boric at Bournemouth this season, having finished last season very impressively on loan at AFC Wimbledon. Player of the season there. He only joined them for that second half of the season and played a part in keeping them in League One. He started well in the Premier League this season. Paul Tierney blows the whistle. Dinia's corner into the near post. Billing heads it away. Danger here for Bournemouth because Sigurdsson's on the ball. He rolls it to the right. Iwobi crosses in. Ake gets a header on it. He can only glance it behind. Everton's third corner in the first 5 minutes of the game. Bournemouth 0, Everton 0.
Well, the first two deliveries have been not on the money. They've back post in the first one, and there was no Everton players there. They all went near post, and the second one got cleared away. So this third one, they really need to make it count now. Better deliveries. Sense
a confident Everton team here today. Started on the front foot. Gylfi Sigurdsson just moves a fluffy microphone out of his path here. Kills another corner in, and the referee, Paul Tierney, spotted something in the penalty area as the cross came in. He was actually having a word on the corner before, and this time has given the free kick to Bournemouth. Now then, a wicket at the Oval. Ellie Oldroyd, is it Steve Smith that's out?
It is Steve Smith, and he's getting a standing ovation all the way back to the pavilion, out for just 23 runs. But everybody here at the Oval know that they've watched a performance of greatness in this Ashes series from Steve Smith. So his lowest score of the series, but we will not see him bat in the 2019 Ashes again. 85 for 4. It was a brilliant catch at leg slip by Stokes off the bowling of Broad, and Australia at 85 for 4, and it's looking very much as if England will level up this series later on this afternoon.
Thank you, Ellie. Bournemouth attacking down the left-hand side. Ball on the edge of the area. Philip Billing with the curler wide and behind for the goal kick. Bournemouth 0, Everton 0. Bright start to this game, and as an England cricket fan, hallelujah, Steve Smith is finally out for a score less than 50 in this remarkable Ashes series. 6 more wickets needed for England to win the match and level the series. Ball-by-ball commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra. If you were listening to our 5 Live Premier League Sunday a couple of weeks ago, you'll remember we were actually doing commentary on Bournemouth-Manchester City while Ben Stokes was taking England to victory at Headingley. Harry Wilson's cross in. Dive header away from the edge of the box. Steve Cook is quick there, ahead of Calvert-Lewin, who has to push him to the floor. Free kick for Bournemouth, too far out to shoot, central position, and Bournemouth have just got themselves back into this game in the early stages. Good last minute or so for them, Karen.
Well, the primary reason for that is they've got Lewis Cook on the ball, and he's been out for a year, and probably that's why maybe Bournemouth have struggled at times, because he's been such a key player, and he's just gotten the ball, sprayed it around. He's so comfortable in possession, and that minute was purely because he was just on the ball dictating it for Bournemouth and bringing other players into play.
Lewis Cook, hands on hips, will take this free kick. He's waiting for the whistle. He'd actually started his run towards the ball there, and Philip Billings given the game away because he was heading towards the far post. They've changed it. Steve Cook's heading to the far post, gets up well, heads it back across the area. Overhead attempt from Dominic Solanke goes miles wide, but the effort's applauded, and it dribbles behind for an Everton goal kick. And as a striker, Karen, we say this all the time, don't we? He needs something to happen for him, Dominic Solanke. Didn't really happen for him at Liverpool. Eventually scored a goal there late on in his spell at the club, but it's not happened for him yet at Bournemouth so far either.
I think all he needs is just game time, just to allow him to play. It's so hard when you're in and out of teams and you're not consistently playing. He just needs to play week in, week out, because he's got the talent, he's got the ability, and he shows glimpses of it when he comes on, but he just needs to play regularly.
Richarlison is being asked to chase one from Seamus Coleman here. It's too far ahead of him, so Aaron Ramsdale comes scampering out to the left-hand side of his penalty area, grabs the ball with both hands, rolls it out underarm. Just talking about Lewis Cook getting on the ball, just while we were away at the cricket there, Karen, he was inside his own penalty area. He used a little body dummy to throw one of the Everton players who was coming towards him, and then he picked a pass between 2 Everton players, 30 yards diagonal, that sort of tempted them both to go for it, but they couldn't get it. The execution was perfect. I think you've got to give him credit as well. He's been out for a year. And people, that's massive. When you haven't played for a year as a player, you're coming in, you're going to be nervous, you're up to pace. He's played on Tuesday, so he's probably got fatigue. But he's just come in and he just looks so confident and at ease, which is really, really impressive. Result in the Championship today: Huddersfield 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Latest I can see on my phone here in the WSL: Everton ladies leading Bristol City's women by 2-0, and Manchester City's women 2-0 up away to Reading. Throw in for Everton inside their own half on the left-hand side. Watford Arsenal is our second Premier League commentary for you this afternoon. John Murray and Stephen Warnock at Vicarage Road to watch the second coming of Quique Sanchez-Flores, his first game in charge since rejoining the club. Barnsley 0, Leeds 0 in the Championship in the other Yorkshire derby. 12 minutes to play in that one. Michael Keane on the ball inside his own half, into the feet of Schneiderlin. Billing closes him down. Played back to Pickford. Solanke's in very close. Pickford gets his clearance away. Iwobi chests it down. The ball came thudding off his chest. And so Jack Stacey has it for Bournemouth. They go back to the goalkeeper. We'll go to Glen Eagles. Final day of the Solheim Cup. Started 8 points apiece. Ian Carter.
Yep, all 12 singles on the course now. Ali, Anna Nordquist and Morgan Pressel, the final pairing out on the golf course. Europe are ahead in 4, the Americans are ahead in 3, and the others are all square. Very, very tight here.
Just remind me, Ian, 6.5 points for Europe to win?
Correct, 6.5 points to get to that magic number of 14.5, and so therefore for America, the holders, 6 points to get to 14 to retain the trophy.
OK, plenty more from Ian during the football commentary this afternoon. Coverage also on the BBC Sport website of the Solheim Cup. Australia 4 wickets down at the Oval. Lewis Cook is fouled. A little bit closer to goal this time. I'd say about 35 yards out. Fabian Delph stepped in. There were 2 challenges on Lewis Cook there, and Paul Tierney decided at least one of them was worthy of a free kick, and I think it might have been Schneiderlin's little nibble there, Karen, at the calves of Lewis Cook.
Well, there's a few nibbles at him, and again, he's the playmaker. He's getting on the ball, he's making things happen, and Bournemouth have had majority of the possession in the last 4 or 5 minutes, again, just because he's allowing them to get into their rhythm. As you said, the distance here now, are they going to shoot?
Well, this is Harry Wilson. I was here a couple of weeks ago for the Manchester City game, and he scored one of the best free kicks I have seen in a long time. He has an incredible dead ball strike. He is taking dead aim. He's standing with his hands on his hips. Jordan Pickford's got the wall in line. Here he comes round the wall and low, bouncing into the breadbasket for Jordan Pickford. So maybe intentional that he went low. Harry Wilson didn't quite get enough pace on it, maybe, Karen.
Yeah, it was very comfortable there for Pickford there. I think he lined his wall up. He knew where he was going to put it. I think the distance and the angle was a little bit too tight for him there, as opposed to the Man City one where it was just perfectly lined up for him. I agree, it was one of the best free kicks I've seen.
Just right in that top corner. It grazed the post and the crossbar right in that top corner, but he couldn't quite repeat the trick. Everton on the ball inside their own half. Bournemouth 0, Everton 0. They're moving at pace here down the left. Richarlison's popped up on the left. Digne makes the run beyond him. Jack Stacey is there. Clearance deflected. Richarlison onto it. Gives it to Calvert-Lewin. Able to turn on the edge of the penalty area. A little 1-2 with Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson onto his right foot. Curling ball. Nathan Ake heads it away to the edge of the box. Philip Billing is a giant, tall man. 2 headers there. I think 6 foot 5 inches tall he stands, and has the danger away for Bournemouth for the time being. And now Harry Wilson's trying to wriggle away down the right-hand side. Long diagonal ball forward, looking for Callum Wilson, who's yet to be able to get into the game for Bournemouth. Fabian Delph takes control for Everton. Little pass back to Morgan Schneiderlin. 14 minutes in, still 0-0. Sigurdsson comes driving forward, just dances past the outstretched leg of Lewis Cook. Plays it wide right to Seamus Coleman. Sigurdsson again. Coleman made the run. Sigurdsson decided not to use him. Comes back to the halfway line. Here's another giant in Yerry Mina, Everton's Colombian centre-back. To Iwobi. Bit of space there for Iwobi to move. Richarlison hits the shot on the turn. Blocked quickly. And a chance for Bournemouth to break now. Coming clear on the halfway line is Josh King with real pace. Schneiderlin's there. Coleman's there. He tries to dive in between the pair of them. And Seamus Coleman has managed to win it. Back to Jordan Pickford, who wants that on his left foot. He's had to hit that with the outside of his left boot. Sliced it away up the field. Steve Cook clears. Bouncing ball into the Everton half. Seamus Coleman will let it run beyond him. And he'll come back to his goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford. Goal at Barnsley, Andy Giddings.
And potentially a late winner as well. Barnsley 0, Leeds United 1. It came from a Leeds free kick just outside the box. It was looped into the middle, and there was substitute Eddie Nketiah on the volley, 6 yards out to send it in. There's only 5 or 6 minutes left. Barnsley 0, Leeds 1.
What a season Eddie Nketiah is having for Leeds United. Philip Billing on the ball here for Bournemouth. Sheffield Wednesday 2-0 winners at Huddersfield. Nathan Ake, under no pressure at all really, just comes trotting forward, crosses the halfway line. Lewis Cook drops deep in between his centre-backs, gets the ball across to Stacey, who seems to be settling. Karen Carney, Jack Stacey at right back for Bournemouth.
Yeah, he's started to grow into the game a little bit more now, but every time Pickford does get the ball up, he is aiming for whoever's playing on the left-hand side for Everton, whether it's Richarlison or Iwobi. He's looking to find in that space because of Stacey playing at fullback.
Callum Wilson powering down the right for Bournemouth like a real sprinter. Tangle of legs between Mina and Wilson. Wilson goes down. The free kick actually goes to Yerry Mina. The two number 13s going head-to-head for Everton and Bournemouth there.
It's a good little battle between them two. Both very physical, both quick, strong.
Wilson was really, chasing the ball. They're running like a professional sprinter, arms pumping like ramrod straight, making that ground on Yerry Mina, who knew he was coming.
I wish I had his technique when he had the way he ran then.
Yeah, looking like a real athlete. Pickford clears with his left boot. Calvert-Lewin nods it back. Luca Digne volleys it forward. Steve Cook has it covered for Bournemouth all the way through to Aaron Ramsdale. So 16 minutes play, just a slight lull in the noise levels here at the Vitality Stadium as Bournemouth play up the left. King in field was having his shirt tugged off his body by Seamus Coleman. Free kick for Bournemouth. Michael Oliver, by the way, video assistant referee today, watching this game back at Stockley Park. We saw Mike Riley say after the international break 4 decisions that they feel VAR should have overturned in the opening weeks of this Premier League season. Richarlison through to Calvert-Lewin, great chance. Ramsdale's out, quickly gets to the ball, gets his body in the way. It spins up in the air. Philip Billing's taking too long to get rid of it, but Lewis Cook is there and Bournemouth can bring it clear. Stacey's ball over the top for Callum Wilson to chase, won't get there. Was the pass for Calvert-Lewin ever so slightly overhit there, Karen, to allow Ramsdale to get there?
Yeah, it was a...
Oh, hang on a sec. Come back to that because Bournemouth are pressing down the left. Solanke should be able to keep this in. Wilson wants to cross in. Solanke decides to just put his studs on the ball. Then he floats it in with his right foot. King heads it forward. Couldn't get any power on it. And Jordan Pickford grabs it with both hands. Back to the Everton chance, Karen.
Yeah, that was a very, very good chance for Everton. That final pass, though, from Richarlison was just too heavy, and Calvert-Lewin, as quick as he is, just couldn't get on to the end of it. But if it was just that little bit slower, a bit more, less pace on it, he would have been in there, and I think that would have been 1-0 to Everton. So, luckily for Bournemouth, it was a poor pass.
Fabian Delph for Everton, just inside the Bournemouth half. Quick pass to Sigurdsson. Now it's Richarlison on the turn, shooting opportunity. Oh, he's hit that well, and it crashes against the woodwork. That join between post and crossbar is still rattling. Dipping, fierce, swerving shot from Richarlison has very nearly given Everton the lead.
What a strike. Probably 35 yards out. As soon as he's hit it, he's just hit it so cleanly, and he's think you're going over, and in the last minute it's just dipped and hit the top of the crossbar. But Bournemouth giving him too much respect with Richarlison, allowed him to turn, allowed him to get the shot off, and not one defender was anywhere near him. But what a fantastic strike.
Marcus Rashford was something similar yesterday for Manchester United from the free kick. Good effort from Richarlison. Already 3 goals to his name so far this season. Callum Wilson's ball in, dangerous for Everton. Schneiderlin reads the danger, comes across. Yerry Mina gets the ball from him. Little short pass up the left to Luca Digne. Couple of 1-2s between him and Delph. A lot of space around Delph here. No pressure on the ball. Philip Billing then moves in. Delph plays his pass away. Gets it back from Calvert-Lewin. Wide to Richarlison. Everton moving nicely up the left-hand side of the field. Slow things down. Richarlison at walking pace. Again, 2 1-2s between Luca Digne and Fabian Delph. penalty at Barnsley. Andy Giddings.
And it's an opportunity for Leeds United to seal all 3 points here. The man who got the goal that is currently the difference between the two sides, Eddie Nketiah, clipped just inside the penalty area as he bore down on goal. And now Mateusz Klich from the spot has the opportunity to seal all 3 points from Leeds United here in front of the 3,000 travelling Leeds United supporters. So Klich takes a couple of paces back from the ball. The referee Keith Stroud blows his whistle. Klich steps up here, rolls it in coolly and calmly, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way, and Leeds United to 3 points here at 90 seconds left. Barnsley 0, Leeds United 2.
Thank you, Andy. So it's going to be away victories in the Yorkshire derbies today. Danny Cowley's first game in charge of Huddersfield finished 2-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. Huddersfield 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. And now we're hearing Barnsley 0, Leeds 2 late in that game. Fabian Delph, misplaced pass, intercepted there by Rico. His first time clearance runs to Schneiderlin. Schneiderlin prompts Seamus Coleman to make a move down the right-hand side for Everton. Back to Schneiderlin. Schneiderlin finds Michael Keane, 10 yards inside the Bournemouth half, up the middle towards Richarlison. Ake was being pulled there by Calvert-Lewin as he tried to clear for Bournemouth, and they have the free kick. Who is having the better of this game so far, do you think, Karen Carney?
Well, I think that the key player has been Richarlison for the first, opening few 15-20 minutes or so. He's been outstanding, and I think he's very clever, because what he's done, he's gone and played up against Stacey, the new young fullback for Bournemouth, and he's gone, you know what, I fancy this. And as a player, when you sniff out a weakness, go and play on it, and Everton are really trying to go down that left-hand side and put him under a lot of pressure, but he's been the standout player for me so far.
Richarlison's in the mood again, darts into a good bit of space. Calvert-Lewin couldn't control his pass. Lewis Cook, too quick, too clever for Fabian Delph. Gets the pass away to Solanke, takes it nicely on the turn and keeps Bournemouth moving down the left-hand side. Josh King back to Solanke, lines up the shot. Oh, hits it well. Pickford got a hand to it, tips it over the bar and behind for a Bournemouth corner. Bournemouth fans enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was really good, quick play. Solanke at the heart of it. He's driving himself, plays it out wide, gets it back off Wilson, just outside the box, right foot hits it, straight to the keeper, and Pickford just palms it over the goal. But positive, a lot quicker in possession from Bournemouth, which is what you want to see. A bit more pace, a bit more intensity, and it's good play from Dom Solanke.
Lewis Cook, warmly applauded by the Bournemouth fans, delighted to see him back from injury and playing well this afternoon. Short corner into the feet of Harry Wilson. Everton read it. Digne got there first and knocks it behind again, so Bournemouth will get another go. Just a slight change in plan here, because Steve Cook is now trotting forward. Harry Wilson is moving to the edge of the box. Lewis Cook is being taken off corner duty. It's going to be the left foot of Diego Rico, which will mean an in-swinger from the right-hand side. And Jack Stacey looking a very lonely man, the only man back for Bournemouth at the moment. Good delivery, flick to the far post. Josh King on the end, and it's headed in. It is headed in for Bournemouth. They take the lead. Callum Wilson is there from 2 yards out, nods it in, couldn't miss. Bournemouth 1, Everton 0.
What a fantastic delivery from the in-swinging corner there. Head on, flick on, Dom Solanke near post, flicks it on. No one near him, flicks it on for the back post. No one picking up Wilson at the back post, and it's just headed in then King headed it across and Wilson tapped it in, but shocking marking from Everton. Poor all round.
Good battle that, Karen. Good battle between Nathan. We were talking about sort of competitive sportsmen. Ake and Wilson both trying to get that final touch, and Wilson's the striker saying, I'm having it, and nods it in.
Absolutely, but I think the flick on from Don Solanke in the initial, when the ball was whipped in, just took the delivery away from all the Everton defenders, and then coming around the back post was King, and then just that tap in there was good. But Everton last season, their Achilles heel was defending set plays, and you've seen a massive weakness here today, and Bournemouth have exploited it very well.
Funny as well that, Karen, wasn't it? They had a go at a short corner. Lewis Cook was on it, and then they decided to reset, give it to Rico. What a good call that was. VAR's just checking the goal. Of course it is. Paul Tierney is waiting to blow the whistle. VAR looking at the moment at the ball. Now, whether it's hit Josh King's hand as he tried to play that back in towards the 6-yard box to find Callum Wilson with the header. He gets it on his left leg. It then rolls up the side of his body. If that has touched his arm and leads to a goal, it'll be ruled out. But they've decided, Michael Oliver, back at base, has decided it's okay and the goal stands. Bournemouth 1, Everton 0. For a second there, I forgot we had VAR. I gave the goal, and I was ready for the game to go again. That's because we've been having the international football with no video assistant referee. Fabian Delph, that's a lovely pass to Digne. Digne onto Calvert-Lewin. So Bournemouth immediately on the back foot, having taken the lead. Calvert-Lewin's cross in, stretch from Rico to try and get it away. Ramsdale comes to punch with 2 fists, gets just about enough on it. The ball goes bouncing away down the byline for Bournemouth, and Josh King with a good turn is tackled by Coleman, and Bournemouth get themselves out of trouble. They'll have a goal kick. 25 minutes played, Bournemouth 1, Everton 0, and the last score I saw at the Oval, Australia 91 for 4, chasing a highly improbable 399 to win. The key news for you there is that Australia's rock, the skipper Steve Smith, who's had such an incredible series, is out. So England needs 6 more wickets in a day and a half to win the Test match and level the series. Ball by ball commentary over on 5 Live Sports Extra. Solanke, who played his part in that opening goal for Bournemouth, back to Billing all the way back to his goalkeeper Ramsdale. Eddie Howe just wants a little bit more pace and movement off the ball. I could just see him sort of whirling his right arm round there, talking to his midfielders. Harry Wilson gliding across the turf. Lovely footballer to watch, Harry Wilson, the way he moves and the way he passes, the way he sees the game. Here's Ramsdale clearing with his right foot. He's launched that ball miles in the air. It drops down inside the Bournemouth half, bounces. Fabian Delph can't control. Billing hooks it in the air. Yerry Mina comes forward to win a header. Wilson's beaten to it by Digne. Stacey's ball over the top. Callum Wilson is away from Michael Keane. The offside flag is up, and he's lobbed it over the crossbar. Full time at Barnsley. Andy Giddings.
Full time here then, Barnsley 0, Leeds United 2. This was a match littered with wasteful moments, a match in which Barnsley brought several smart saves from Kika Kasir in the Leeds goal. It was a match in which Patrick Bamford could have had a hat-trick and Pablo Hernandez should have scored from the centre of his goal. And all of that until Arsenal loanee Eddie Nketiah volleyed home his 4th goal of the season with 8 minutes left. Then he was fouled in the build-up to the penalty which Mateusz Klich dispatched. So Leeds win 2-0, go back to the top of the championship on goal difference. It's 5 wins from 7 games for them. Barnsley 0, Leeds 2.
Thanks, Andy. Bournemouth 1, Everton 0. Richarlison's ball down the right-hand side to Coleman. Coleman's low cross into the near post. Calvert-Lewin can't convert it. It's behind for a goal kick. Latest from the Oval, Ellie Oldroyd.
106 for 4 Australia. Thought it was 106 for 5 a moment ago. Mitchell Marsh, a superb catch at slip by Rory Burns off Chris Woakes, but then Alex Stewart, the replay showed that Woakes had overstepped.
Yeah, and literally just by an inch, but an inch is too big a deficit. And this is what really frustrates me with the umpires. I don't think they call a no balls enough. I don't think they're looking at the no balls. A good umpire would be saying to Chris Woakes, just come back a little bit. You're getting close, you're getting close. And that ball therefore may have been a legal delivery and a wicket would have stood.
Crowd was on its feet for a moment and then sat back down again. 106 for 4, but just a reminder, Steve Smith out for just 23.
Thank you, Ellie. A paltry 23 from Steve Smith. Bournemouth throw-in. Ball ends up in central midfield and Fabian Delph comes back to Jordan Pickford. So a review at the cricket, but no wicket. A review at the football. And Callum Wilson's close-range header stands, his 2nd goal of the season. Everton away down the right again. Richarlison looks up, takes a touch, little dummy cross into the near post. Ake clears first time with his left foot. Josh King gets there for Bournemouth, Schneiderlin all over the back of him, and Paul Tierney gives Bournemouth the free kick. And Josh King alert there, takes it quickly, plays the 1-2 with Solanke, and he's up against Schneiderlin again. He's got the beating of him, not the best ball in. Yerry Mina gets a thigh to it, plays it back to Pickford. Pickford's asking whether he can pick it up, and he got the clearance there, Karen Carney, from the referee before he did so. I'm not sure the Bournemouth fans saw that. They wanted a free kick.
No, it was he was able to pick that up and play. He knew what he was doing. So yeah, good decision by the referee there. Mina
onto Iwobi. Nice touch and turn from the Nigerian. Good vision as well, because he's found Luca Digne making ground down Everton throw. So 28 minutes played. First half at Bournemouth. 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. This the first of 2 commentaries from the Premier League. Watford Arsenal kicking off at 4:30. Emma Jones and Robbie Savage taking the calls on 6:06 tonight after the games. Luca Digne getting ready for the long throw into the Bournemouth penalty area. Mina jumps to try and win the flick on it. Drops to Callum Wilson. Bournemouth fans are saying just go, just go. Delph comes flying across, slides in, Ball and man possibly with a challenge. Callum Wilson has gone down and stayed down. But I think I didn't hear the whistle go, so we'll have to wait and see whether Paul Tierney's given free kick or throw there. He's not looking to talk to Delph.
For me, he won the ball there. It was a good tackle. He's gone in and he's probably just caught him a little bit after on his ankle perhaps, but he's won the ball.
One of those 4 decisions that Mike Riley said should have been overturned by the video assistant referee was the Tielemans challenge in Bournemouth's last game on Callum Wilson, which at the time it looked like a red, didn't it?
Yeah, that was pretty naughty. And
here's Wilson, gets his pass through down the left-hand side. Josh King again at real speed, coming in from the left, brought down by Seamus Coleman. King's down holding his knee. This is definitely in Harry Wilson territory. Bournemouth have won 3 free kicks in this first half, and they are moving 5 yards each time closer to goal. This is in perfect range for a Harry Wilson effort. Bournemouth are just going to hope that Josh King is okay. Coleman just sort of barged into him there, Karen.
He just nudged him in the back, didn't he? And I think he was looking for it there. King, it's clever. He knew the areas that he was running into and thought, if I can nick a free kick here, it'll be advantageous for us.
Full-time scores in the 2 early kickoffs in the Women's Super League. Everton Ladies 2, Bristol City Women 0. And Reading Women 0, Manchester City Women 2, goalless so far between Brighton and Chelsea, Spurs and Liverpool. The 2 o'clock kickoffs, West Ham against Birmingham. Karen, kicks off at 3 o'clock. Who's winning that one?
I've got back Birmingham, surely, haven't I? Come on, now, my old team.
Of course you have. Right, Harry Wilson time. Perfect range for him, you'd think. Is Pickford going to be tested? Wilson into the wall this time. So the first one he got round the wall and Pickford saved. That one into the wall. Rico's cross, blocked by Fabian Delph. Delph reacts quickly, gets to that loose ball first. Chance for Seamus Coleman to clear. Bournemouth leading Everton 1-0. Schneiderlin on the ball just outside his own penalty area. Lays off with his left foot. Gives it back to Delph. Bournemouth are pressing high. Everton have managed to break that by finding Iwobi in central midfield, across to Mina, wide to Digne. Stacey comes hurtling up that right touchline. He's done brilliantly for Bournemouth. He's hassled Digne out of possession, plays it back to Billing on to Solanke, who's really strong there to hold off Mina and keep the ball for Bournemouth. Wilson, tight space on the right hand side, back to Billing, knew that pass to Cook wasn't on. Nice turn, slightly overhit pass. Last touch there came from an Everton player. Pickford's got to get there, he does, controls the ball with his left foot and dribbles it into his own penalty area and then just launches it downfield looking for Iwobi. Spotted him well there. Steve Cook saw the danger as well and heads the ball out of play. Latest on the Solheim Cup, Ian Carter.
It's very tight, it's very tense. 12 singles out on the golf course. Ali, Europe up in 5, down in 4, and the remainder are all square. Remember, tied 8-all from the foursomes and 4-ball action over Friday and Saturday.
Okay, so my maths on the spot. If Europe are up in 5 and there are 3 halves, that would be just enough as things stand to get them over the line to win the Solheim Cup. Richarlison, edge of the area, low left-footed pass, goes speeding across the box. Digne has to work to keep that in, down by the byline. Cross into that near post, headed away by Lewis Cook. Sigurdsson onto it quickly for Everton, back to Delph. Delph just swings a right foot at the ball, it goes up in the air. Stacey heads it away. Solanke on the turn, left-footed pass trying to get Wilson away. Poor ball. Michael Keane was able to intercept, but Richarlison can't keep it in on the right hand side. If Solanke had got that pass right, Karen, Wilson could easily have been clear.
Absolutely, it's just that final ball there from Solanke. He had the right idea, just the wrong execution, and you know, you're right, he would have been in.
Quick restart again from Bournemouth. Billing looking for the pace of Wilson with the throw. Mina under pressure, could only hook that over his left shoulder. Jordan Pickford applauds that. Pickford was coming towards him, and just for a second there you wondered whether Mina would leave it, whether the two players would collide. I think if you don't know, Karen, you just got to get rid, haven't you? Yeah,
it's a good decision by Mina. You know, at the end of the day, Pickford, you've got to let your defenders defend and deal with it, and there was probably no need for him to come racing out, and he made the right decision to let Mina just do his job and defend.
Throw in for Bournemouth. Diego Rico gets ready to take this. The Spaniard in his second season here at Bournemouth. Finds Solanke with the throw. Delph with the challenge. Bournemouth win a corner. Delph, as soon as he did that, I'm sure he was trying to hoodwink the referee, put his arm up to try and make sure that Everton got the goal kick, but it was from a corner that Bournemouth scored their opening goal. That came from the other side of the field. That was the in-swinging ball from Rico, which was delivered so well. It's Josh King who's gone over to take this one. I think Lewis Cook is short for him there. He's rolled it down the line to Cook. Cook was looking for the run outside from Rico to get another cross in from the left. And eventually Everton have cleared through Sigurdsson and out for a throw to Bournemouth on the left wing, just about level with the edge of the Everton penalty area. Bournemouth 1, Everton 0. Steve Cook's got a long throw, just rolling that match ball around in his hands, making sure he's got the best possible grip. To the touchline he goes. A little bit too much height on that one, didn't give Billing much of a chance to attack it. Iwobi controls the clearance. Delph in his bright orange boots has Digne outside him. Digne floats a ball in towards Calvert-Lewin. 50-50 ball though that really, and he's lost it to Rico. Ramsdale, the Bournemouth keeper, clears with his right foot, can't find a teammate, and it's out for a throw to Everton on the right. They're trailing 1-0. Just seem to have lost their way ever so slightly in the last 5-10 minutes or so since going behind. Pickford digs his left foot underneath the ball. It goes spinning high in the air. Calvert-Lewin jumps well. Sigurdsson called for it, wanted it. It was tackled as he tried to control it. And Bournemouth have it back again. I
feel quite sorry for Calvert-Lewin, really. He gets fed some hopeful balls, and his teammates ask a lot of him, and at times they leave him quite isolated. They give him high balls, and he's got to deal with things and try and link people up. I actually feel quite sorry for him, how he has to deal with a lot of stuff and work with. And then he gets, like myself, he's critical of how many goals he scores, but the delivery's up to him. It's not good enough at times. I just feel sorry for him.
Digne, left-hand side for Iwobi. Can they do better for Calvert-Lewin this time? Here's Digne away from Stacey. Now a chance maybe to pick out Calvert-Lewin in the middle. Cross comes in, headed down is wide from Richarlison at the near post. Good move from Everton down the left-hand side. And actually, I just see Diego Rico getting a high five from Nathan Ake, and Ake is saying to him, you know, well done, I think, on sticking with Richarlison, because he just made that awkward for him.
I was about to exactly say the same thing. The defending there from Rico was outstanding, because really Richarlison had a free. He was in. All he had to do was get a bit of contact in. But what Rico done, he gave him a little bit of a nudge and made it difficult for him to get his head across and get contact with the ball.
Oh, Bournemouth playing out from the back, have given it away. Here's Calvert-Lewin inside the penalty area, goes tumbling over. That was a fair challenge from Billing. He picks himself up again. Sigurdsson, ball under feet. Calvert-Lewin off balance, shoots and slices it badly wide and behind for the goal kick. But Bournemouth shooting themselves in the foot there, playing out from the back. Diego Rico's pass was poor. That's what led to the chance.
I know Bournemouth's philosophy is to play out, but when you've just had momentum against them with the Charlton chance, and you think we just need to kind of relax now, they've had a bit of a moment, we need to probably perhaps go long and let's just take time. But they tried to play out, and now they've decided to go long, which is the right decision. Just relieve some of the pressure. Yeah, big cheers from the Bournemouth fans as Ramsdale put his foot through it and cleared it downfield. Everton knock it back into the Bournemouth half. Sigurdsson can't control. It's back with Aaron Ramsdale. 8 minutes remaining in this first half, and all about again whether Bournemouth can maintain a lead, keep a clean sheet, possibly. I think they are the team since the start of last season who's conceded more goals than any other in the Premier League. 139 goals in 42 Premier League games since the start of last season. Here's Ake bringing the ball forward, wide to Rico. Rico onto Wilson, lays it off to Rico again, played back towards the halfway line. Lewis Cook draws Sigurdsson in, tries to beat him and get round him. Two Everton players around him. Eventually he's lost the ball there. Delph's just a little slow, or maybe he actually felt Solanke coming, drew him in and then turned away from him. He's found Digne on the left hand side. Iwobi's first touch gave Stacey a chance to get in there. Delph sliding in on Solanke, and the free kick goes Bournemouth's way. Paul Tierney's going to have a word here with Fabian Delph. There was the earlier challenge, Karen, on Callum Wilson. Second one there on Solanke. Do you think that might be? He just needs a quiet word of him. He's had 1, 2, 3 nibbles now, one more and he'll be in the book. But that one was definitely a foul. He slid in quite early, and the referees made good decisions there.
That's how he plays. Here's Billing. He does a similar job for Bournemouth that Delph does for Everton. Billing's dropped very deep here, but Bournemouth are playing it down the left. Keane is there for Everton, clears with his right foot on the half volley. Billing got a little shove there from Calvert-Lewin, was still able to win the header. Back in Everton possession inside their own half with Yerry Mina, who very purposely puts his right foot through the ball. Digne couldn't find Iwobi. Steve Cook is shoved over. Everton getting a little frustrated. Misplaced passes costing him. Lewis Cook, quick free kick. Wilson trying to get on the end of it. Pickford read that danger, came out quickly and cleared. Can Bournemouth go quickly with the throw? Jack Stacey wanted to. Harry Wilson wasn't quite ready. He's now found Wilson. Oh, Delph came in with a high foot on Harry Wilson, and Paul Tierney goes straight for the yellow card. Now, the video assistant referee will have a look at that, constantly monitoring the game. If they feel that it's a possible red card incident, they will have a look at it. Paul Tierney, though, was close, Karen. He got a good view of it. He immediately went for the yellow, and Wilson has kicked the bottom of Delph's boot there.
For me, it's not a red card. It's a definite yellow. The ball was high, bouncing, and he's gone up to win it, and he's nicked his ankle, and Wilson went down and arguably right, but I don't think it's any more than the yellow in my opinion. But Delph's got to be really, really smart now. He's just had a warning, and after that tackle there, he's just turned around and shouted at the rest of his team in just pure frustration, because they're being really, really naive, and they just need to be better now.
Bournemouth 1, Everton 0. Diego Rico kills that free kick into the penalty area. Bouncing ball. Everton struggling to clear. Yerry Mina is there. Heads it away. Harry Wilson plays back to the halfway line. Here's Stacey. Stacey floats a high ball up towards the edge of the box, headed across goal by Billing. Ake on the turn. Good effort, and then his cross hits Solanke and goes behind and wide for a goal kick to Everton.
Everton just aren't dealing with high balls very, very well. Billing's up there, wins the flick on. Ake's in there, turns, gets a shot off, but goes out for a goal kick. But they're just not dealing with the first and second balls very well at all, Everton.
One of the things we were going to talk about at the start of the game, before the game, was Everton's away record last season. 5 wins on the road, 5 draws and 9 defeats. And Marco Silva, as a Premier League manager in charge of Hull, Watford and Everton, has really not won too many games away from home. Just 9 out of his 42. Now, admittedly, with Hull, he had a very good home record with them. They were struggling near the foot of the table, so you can explain that. But it's certainly something I think over time that he needs to improve. Everton need to try and get back into this game. Here's Schneiderlin's cross in with his right foot. Ake ahead of Sigurdsson, wins the header. Callum Wilson with a second header flicks it on. Michael Keane back to Mina. Mina steps over the ball, didn't fancy that pass to the left-hand side, and so he comes back to Jordan Pickford. So Eddie Howe now very keen on Bournemouth getting into the shed with the clean sheet, and at least their 1-0 lead. Bouncing ball on the halfway line. Michael Keane jumps in and makes it his. Richarlison on the turn. Josh King back at him. Wins the tackle. Second tackle on Seamus Coleman. Challenges go flying in, and eventually Bournemouth get a throw. Good defensive work from Josh King.
That's what I love about him. He's just pure energy, work rate, as well as his ability as well. He's just willing to go the extra mile for the team, and that's why he plays so regularly and in different positions for Bournemouth, whether it be out wide, up front. You know what you're going to get from him, and consistency, and that's why Eddie Howe loves him.
Half-time on the way here shortly on 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. Emma Saunders will be taking you around the rest of the sport. Australia now 4 wickets down at the Oval, chasing 399 to win. England trying to level the series at 2 test matches apiece. 8 points all it started in the Solheim Cup. Singles all out on the golf course. Bournemouth attacking down the left-hand side with Josh King. Delays the cross, steps over the ball. Now brings Seamus Coleman into the area, makes space. Back to Billing's shot. Oh, just wide. Pickford flying to his right-hand side. I think might have got a touch there, or someone did. It's gone behind for a corner.
It's great play by King. It's just pace, energy, and what he does is he gets himself into the box, and Coleman then can't touch him. Passes it back to Billing, just nearly on the edge of the box, and he hits it with his left foot, and I think it got deflected from Fabian Delph, or Schneiderlin, sorry. Gets a little toe and it deflected out for a corner, but good play. But King, very well played down that left-hand side.
Corner for Bournemouth. Rico to take, an away swinger into the near post. Mina wins the header. Iwobi flicks the ball in the air and then chases his own clearance wide to the left-hand side of the field. Nathan Ake sticks with him. Iwobi plays infield to Fabian Delph. 1 minute plus added time remaining at the end of the first half. Bournemouth at home, leading Everton 1-0. Billing nods down into central midfield. The ball rolls for Schneiderlin. Lot of space here for Seamus Coleman to exploit down the right-hand side. He plays it on to Richarlison. Richarlison's first time balling. Calvert-Lewin is up. What a header. What a goal from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Everton score in the last minute of the first half. Good break down the right-hand side, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin has his first goal of the season, gets the nod up front today, got up brilliantly with the header, and it's Bournemouth 1, Everton 1.
That's what happens when you actually give him a good delivery, and he's in the right place at the right time. Richarlison gets the byline, whips in a fantastic ball, and Calvert-Lewin gets above the two centre-halves. Shocking really from defending from there. He gets above them, rises. He might use a defender to give him a bit of a leap. Surprised it might have been not a foul, but he gets himself up there and he heads it.
VAR will have a look. Calvert-Lewin is up early. You're right, Karen. He's got his hands on Steve Cook's shoulders. Steve Cook has not complained about that goal. Paul Tierney will wait, though, until Bournemouth kick off. As a centre-forward, I'd be extremely disappointed if that got ruled out.
Well, Calvert-Lewin's used it to his advantage, and what a header, but he got up so high, and credit to him. But that cross from Richarlison and the timing and the position of him in the middle to get in between the two centre-halves is why he's got that goal. But it's all about giving him a chance. If you give Calvert-Lewin a chance, he'll get you goals, but not near enough to Everton give him that.
1 minute of added time at the end of the first half. Bournemouth 1, Everton 1. Michael Keane whacks the ball clear with his right foot. Go on, Karen.
Sorry, I'm just... If you were a Bournemouth fan now, you'd be infuriated, conceding 1 minute before half-time. And this is why they've conceded so many goals.
Seamus Coleman had so much space initially down that right-hand side late in the first half when Bournemouth possibly could have been shutting it down. Lewis Cook's floated ball to the far post. Can Bournemouth get themselves another goal before half-time? Loose ball in the Everton box. Michael Keane clears. 20 seconds remaining in this first half, and suddenly it's really open because Iwobi actually is going to let that ball run out to the left. Had he tried to control it, he might have been able to press down that left. But Coleman had a lot of space, didn't he? Found Richarlison in a lot of space.
Well, it actually came from a Bournemouth corner that got cleared away, and Bournemouth just did not get back quick enough. You know, you saw Nathan Ake trying, scrambling to get back, but just wasn't quick enough to get back into position. And they're all over the shop, and it's just so naive 1 minute before half-time. Just get in, 1-0, clean sheet, and recoup at half-time, but so disappointing. But Everton now back in it. Yeah,
that has been the problem for Bournemouth ever since they arrived in the Premier League. Actually, so good to watch going forward, but can be vulnerable at the back. Late on in the first half, Everton have equalised. And the good news is, from our point of view, is that we promised you goals and we have already had 2 of them. This fixture is never dull. Bournemouth taking the lead in the 23rd minute. Callum Wilson with a close range header after a Bournemouth corner. And as Karen Carney just pointed out, it was a Bournemouth corner late in that first half that has actually led to the Everton equalise on the counter-attack. Dominic Calvert-Lewin with that great leap and header. Half-time score here at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 1, Everton 1.
Alistair Bruce-Ball and Karen Carney, your commentary team at the Vitality Stadium. It is indeed Bournemouth 1, Everton 1. Karen, I was going to start there just before Calvert-Lewin did score that goal, because we had all those tweets before the game questioning his selection over the likes of Moise Keane. Before that goal went in, were you expecting a change maybe in the second half? How do you think that goal is now going to affect the game?
Well, it will give him a load of confidence, but if you actually look at Calvert-Lewin, the balls that get up to him are just not good enough, and he's having to deal with things around his neck, you know, just poor quality up to him. And that's probably why, if I'm him, I'm going in the dressing room. That's why I've only got last season 6 or 7 or 8 goals, because things into me haven't been good enough. But that crossing from Richarlison, when the ball is in the right place, put in the right area, he could clearly get goals, and that's why he's been started today. But it'll be good for his confidence now, and he'll be saying to them in the dressing room, guys, just give me better deliveries into the box and I'll get you goals.
Karen, thank you. Half-time at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 1, Everton 1. Calvert-Lewin cancelling out Wilson's opening goal. Before the second half, we will drop in at the Oval for the latest from the Ashes. We'll also go to Glen Eagles for an update from the Solheim Cup. But now it is time for the news on 5 Live Sport with Richard Foster.
On digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Lib Dem leader Jo Swinson says she's one of the people who won't forgive David Cameron for calling the Brexit referendum.
I think so much of the problems that we are facing right now stem from David Cameron's shocking misjudgment in putting the interests of the Conservative Party ahead of the national interest.
She's holding a question and answer session with delegates at the party's conference in Bournemouth. The Lib Dems have voted to scrap Brexit altogether if they can form a majority government after the next election. There was a big majority in favour of the idea. The Home Secretary says Boris Johnson is fully committed to negotiating a Brexit agreement by the deadline of the 31st of October. The Prime Minister's told the Mail on Sunday that the UK will break out of its manacles like the Incredible Hulk in order to leave the EU. A murder investigation is underway in Nottingham after a man in his 20s was stabbed to death in the city centre. A man's been arrested on suspicion of assisting an offender. Gareth Thomas says he wants to break the stigma of HIV after announcing he has the illness. The former Wales and Lions captain says at his lowest point last year he felt like dying. Alex Sparrowhawk was diagnosed with HIV a decade ago and now works for the charity the Terence Higgins Trust.
I think this is a really significant announcement from Gareth. It's something that's really fallen off the agenda that people don't think about and talk about anymore. So to have someone with a high profile like him is amazing, and we really hope that he's going to be able to share what it means to live with HIV in 2019.
And Iran's dismissed a US allegation that it was behind 2 drone attacks that have drastically cut oil production in Saudi Arabia. Its foreign minister has suggested America's trying to create a pretext for action against the country.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live on digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
Fairly busy on the roads. M8 eastbound just outside Glasgow. A multi-vehicle accident means that 4 lanes are blocked at junction 15, the turn for Townhead. Queuing traffic there. West Yorkshire and the northbound M1. Slow traffic because of an accident at junction 40, the turn for Ossett and Wakefield. And a lane's closed on the exit slip road as well. Buckinghamshire and the M1 northbound. 1 lane's closed because of an accident from junction 14 at Milton Keynes to 15 at Northampton. There were delays there. Same road a little further south on the southbound M1 in Hertfordshire. A breakdown means that 1 lane's closed and there are delays between junction 8 at Hemel Hempstead and junction 6 at North Watford and Bricket Wood. And finally on the M5 northbound in Somerset, the earlier accident still causing delays between junction 23 at Bridgewater North and 22 at Burnham-on-Sea. Queues as far back at the moment as junction 24 at Bridgewater South. Richard Foster, 5 Live Travel.
The best live sports.
And it's all over. Australia have won this game. Delighted to have retained the Ashes.
After Australia retain the Ashes, England are looking to regain some pride and level up the series at the Oval.
Broad, long strides, runs in bowls. That went away and they're appealing for a catch. And he's out.
It's Ashes cricket. You're playing against Australia. Every game you play against them means a huge amount to the group.
The Ashes, the 5th test. Hear ball-by-ball commentary right now over on 5 Live Sports Extra.
More live Premier League football than anyone else.
5 Live's Premier League Sunday.
Welcome back to 5 Live Premier League Sunday. I'm Emma Saunders. It's half-time at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 1, Everton 1. We'll be back there with our team. That's Karen Carney and Alistair Bruce Ball very shortly. Coming up at 4:30, our second game of today's 5 Live Premier League Sunday. Quique Sanchez-Flores returning to the Watford dugout, taking charge of the Hornets following the sacking of Javi Gracia. Watford bottom of the table. They face an Arsenal side without Alexander Lacazette. He's sidelined until October with a knee injury. It's a big game at Vicarage Road. That one kicks off at 4:30 with your commentary team, Stephen Warnock and John Murray. Just a reminder of the scores elsewhere today. In the Championship, it finished Huddersfield 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Likewise, Barnsley 0, Leeds United 2. So Leeds top of the Championship on goal difference. They're 2 goals better off than Swansea in second. Just time to take you through some of the scores from the WSL today. Manchester City won away at Reading by 2-0. Everton beat Bristol City by 2-0 as well. It's half-time in the game between Brighton and Chelsea, which is goalless, and Tottenham lead Liverpool by 1-0. And then in about 5 minutes' time at 3 o'clock, the game between West Ham and Birmingham will kick off. Right, let's turn our attention now to events overnight in Vegas. Tyson Fury battled to a rugged points win over Otto Wallin as he fought for over 9 rounds with a heavy cut to maintain his unbeaten record in a dramatic bout in Nevada. Fury was expected to walk through Sweden's Wallin, but found his cut at the mercy of repeated checks from the ringside doctor. However, he battled on to win a unanimous points decision. Boxing writer Steve Bunce was ringside and joined Mike Costello and former professional boxer Andy Lee after the bout, and this is what they had to say after a dramatic night in Vegas.
The bad cut that appeared above his right eye from, we now understand, a legal punch from Faline changed the fight completely.
It certainly did. He wasn't having it all easy, but he was boxing comfortably, well within himself. Valen had a plan. You have to give Valen some credit. Up to that point, he had a plan that was to press Tyson without punching first, letting Tyson punch and not biting on any Tyson's feints. But then the cut happens, and it's not deemed an accident. Tyson has to kind of fight outside of his game plan, try to force the issue, and he showed that he can win ugly. So he showed a couple of sides to his game, more aspects to his game, and although it was a taxing night in terms of the cut and the exertion he had to put in for 12 rounds, this win will stand to him because he showed that he can win early, he showed that he can win ugly and dig deep when he has to. So I think he would have won a lot more fans in America with that performance.
Steve, I'll get your impression of the fight in a moment, but just tell me what the atmosphere, the mood was in the ring afterwards as you were chasing around to get the interview post-fight.
It was just about as subdued as I can ever remember for a man celebrating victory. There was concern, obviously, on Frank Warrant's face. There was concern on Bob Arum, his promoter, the two promoters. Fury himself was putting on a brave face, but up close and personal, Mike, 6 inches, 7 inches, I had a good look at those two unbelievable gashes. Those were deep, horrible, nasty wounds. And Ben Davison himself talked to me briefly before I spoke to Tyson about how bad the blood was. And there was a point that I could see from about round 9 or 10 where the blood was actually pumping out. It was pumping out. You could see it coming out, not dripping down his face. You could see it forcing its way through one of the two cuts. Both cuts, as you said, ruled both cuts probably correctly ruled as being a legal punch. That means had the doctor, who was only consulted once, and all the referees stopped the fight, then it would have been a loss for Tyson Fury and a victory for Otto Valen.
And that would have been an injustice, Steve. I mean, your impression of the fight as a whole, he did manage to hold it together, given that for half of the fight he was staring out of one eye.
And he really was staring out of one eye, Mike, and he was trying to adjust his feet so that a lot of these, what he was looking out of his left eye rather than his right eye. My impression is, and I really mean this, and I wrote this down, so I'm not being a Steve Bunce after-timer tonight. I thought he looked a little bit lazy, a little bit sloppy in the opening 2 rounds, the cut coming in the third. I split those rounds, 1 each. I didn't think he was maybe as focused as I believed he would be. But saying that, Valen did exactly what he'd been talking about and exactly what his team had been talking about. He showed no fear. He got close. He let the punches go. He talked to Tyson inside. He talked to him at the end of the rounds, and he clumped away anywhere. And that's an old-fashioned expression. He clumped away anywhere. And I could see Tyson working, thinking about it. Had there been no cut, I'm quite convinced that he would have got to Valen before the final bell. But I tell you what, I don't think it would have been an easy fight, even without the cut, Mike. Valen had done his homework.
And you can hear more of that chat by downloading the Boxing with Costello and Bunce podcast, which is available to download now via BBC Sounds. Grey clouds out the window here in Salford. Much sunnier skies, I hear, down in London at the Oval. And here with the latest from the final Ashes test is Ellie Oldroyd.
Yes, it's glorious here, Emma. And Australia are 126 for 4. The target is 399. That's a long way away still. But Matthew Wade, Mitchell Marsh putting up some resistance. Wade's on 39. Marsh is on 14. Steve Smith, if you missed it earlier, out for just 23, but that is a total of 774 runs in 7 innings in this series, averaging 110. He got a standing ovation as he left the ground for the final time in this Ashes series. But we're watching at the moment an excellent spell by Chris Woakes. So far, Alex Stewart without reward.
Yes, we thought he had got a reward as well when he had Mitch Marsh given out LBW and then recalled because he'd just bowled a no ball. The umpire didn't call it at the time, but on review he was just about half an inch over, and I understand that's the first no ball he's been called for in his Test career, having bowled more than 5,000 deliveries.
And Marsh also nearly caught off the boot of Rory Burns as well.
Yes, no, he's had a charmed life. It was just bounced short of Burns, bounced up off his boot, and then to short leg, who took the rebound catch. And another one again off Wokes, with Burns at fifth slip, jumping high above his head, just got a fingertip on it, and it went through the fingertip and down to the third man boundary. So this is a partnership which is going to keep Australia in the game at the moment, but it is just a matter of time. Get one of these and I'm pretty certain England will win today.
England have got to be patient. 130 for 4. They need another 269 runs, Australia, with 6 wickets remaining. And crucially for them, none of those wickets is one which has S. Smith in front of it.
Thank you, Ellie. Won't be long until we're back at the Vitality Stadium for the second half of the game between Bournemouth and Everton, which is 1-1 at the break. But time now to go to the Solheim Cup. Final day at Glen Eagles. How's it shaping up, Ian Carter?
Glorious weather here as well, and it is so tight, Emma, at the moment. The Americans are up in 4 matches. Europe are up in 4 matches, and it's all square in the remaining 4. If it were to remain the same, then that would be enough for a tied match and enough for America to retain the trophy. They've just gone 1 up, in fact, in one of the matches that was all square. Nelly Corder holding there. That was the cheer you heard at the 14th to go 1 up on Caroline Headwell. A heck of a match between Georgia Hall and Lexi Thompson. Hall's come from 2 down to lead. She's 1 up as they play the 13th in that match. Charlie Hull struggling a little against Megan Kang. They're on the 11th and Hull is 1 down. But there are so many matches where there's only 1 hole in it. Other matches that are all square. The destiny of the Solheim Cup on an absolute knife edge at the moment.
Thank you, Ian. You can follow live text commentary of the Solheim Cup as it unfolds on the final day on the BBC Sport website. You can also listen to it live on BBC Radio Scotland, and there'll be highlights later this evening at 7 o'clock on BBC 2. You are listening to 5 Live Premier League Sunday with me, Emma Saunders. We're midway through the first of our 2 commentaries today. Watford Arsenal coming up at 4:30, but for now at the Vitality Stadium, it's Bournemouth 1, Everton 1, a fixture that rarely lacks action on goal. It's delivered so far. The players are now just returning to the field, so I'll hand you back to our commentary team, Karen Carney and Alistair Bruce Ball.
Thank you, Emma. Yes, team's back out and ready to go. First question for you at the start of the second half, Karen Carney. On a scale of 1 to 10, how annoyed will Eddie Howe have been at the goal that his team conceded at the end of that first half?
10. 10.
I thought you were going to say that.
They had the attacking corner with 1 minute to go. They're putting it into the box. The defensive setup behind the ball wasn't right, and Everton go and counter and get the goal, and it's 1-1, and you're going in scratching your head now at half time. Your team talk changes and the whole dynamic changes.
Second half underway, 1-1. Bournemouth in the black and red stripes, playing from right to left in this second half. Glorious sunshine down on the south coast this afternoon, and Diego Rico at left back trying to get a ball forward for Bournemouth. Everton have intercepted. Richarlison looking to get on the end of it. Nathan Ake is there not once but twice for Bournemouth. Side-footed pass to Rico, gets his ball forward to Dominic Solanke, who goes tumbling down under a challenge. Then Fabian Delph does exactly the same. He was caught there by Lewis Cook, and that's an early free kick to Everton in the second half. Aaron Ramsdale in goal for Bournemouth. New look back 4. Jack Stacey making a Premier League debut at right back. Diego Rico into the side this afternoon at left back. Steve Cook and Nathan Ake has a more familiar feel to it as the centre-back pairing. Lewis Cook, back from a long-term injury in central midfield, is impressed so far alongside Philip Billing. Josh King and Harry Wilson wide, with Dominic Solanke starting for Bournemouth today, involved in their goal. Flick on from the Rico corner. Callum Wilson eventually headed in. Here's Iwobi bringing it forward for Everton up to the edge of the penalty area. Finds Digne. Digne wants to take Stacey on the outside. Stacey sticks with him, sticks a right boot out and blocks it. And it goes out for an Everton throw. They've got Pickford in goal. Back four is Seamus Coleman, Michael Keane, Yerry Mina and Luca Digne. Morgan Schneiderlin and Fabian Delph in central midfield. Delph on a yellow card in the game. Richarlison, Sigurdsson and Iwobi as the 3 in behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the goal scorer. Throw into that Bournemouth penalty area. Billing is up highest to head away. Wilson with a little flick over Delph's head. He chases his own flick. Coleman is there first for Everton. Comes up against Harry Wilson, so stops, plays it sideways. Delph onto Iwobi. Iwobi wide here to Digne. Digne's pull back looking for Iwobi again. Digne slides in, wins the next ball on the edge of the Bournemouth box. Digne back to Sigurdsson, and Ramsdale saves and tips over the bar. And again, it looked like a sort of desperate swipe at the ball from Aaron Ramsdale. He made one of those in the first half from Gylfi Sigurdsson where he almost seemed caught out. Bottom line is, doesn't matter what it looks like, get your hands to the ball, make the save.
Yeah, it was kind of the pass into him was quite sharp and fast, and he kind of just swung his foot at it and didn't really get it low enough, and Ramsdale just palmed it over the bar. Comfortable save.
Karen Carney with us here at the Vitality Stadium. 2.5 minutes played, second half. Bournemouth 1, Everton 1. Sigurdsson's corner. Deep one to the far post. Ake wins the header. On the volley is Digne with his right foot. Bounces back to him. He's chased out of the penalty area by Wilson. Cross comes in. Little flick header there from Mina on the edge of the box. Easy one for Ramsdale to catch, and Richarlison just goes running across the Bournemouth goalkeeper's path to stop him getting rid of the ball quickly. In fact, I'm going to ask Karen in a second about Bournemouth going quickly from set pieces whenever they can, because that was something you picked up on in the first half here, Karen. It's something we saw a couple of weeks ago at Villa Park as well. Villa were doing that to Everton, weren't they?
Yeah, every time Aston Villa had a free kick, they just put the hand on. Jack Grealish in particular would pick it up straight away and play as quick as possible, and Bournemouth have tried to do that the same in the first half and trying to catch Everton out, because it's clearly a weakness that Everton are great when everything's set up and they're organised, but when they're a little bit out of shape and not switched on, that's when you can really hurt them.
Yeah, teams obviously feel that Everton are susceptible to those quick restarts. Just had a restart there. Bournemouth throw. Delph clears for Everton. Steve Cook wins a header. Back to Delph. Chests it down. Plays across to Schneiderlin in the centre circle. His ball cutting across the halfway line to Coleman down the right-hand side. Richarlison comes running towards him. Richarlison is down. Wants a free kick. He's not going to get it. Everton still have it with Coleman. Both managers have been out on the edge of the pitch for the entirety of this game so far, standing about 7-8 yards apart on the touchline down below us as Everton press again down the left. Cook's got to come across and win that. Won the ball. Iwobi goes barging into him. Ball actually came off Iwobi as well in the end, and Bournemouth get a throw in their right back position. An Everton win here, by the way, would put them third in the Premier League table, tucked in behind Manchester City and Liverpool. Liverpool sitting there on 15 points, top of the table. Manchester City on 10. So an Everton win today would take them to 10. But at the moment, 1-1. Luca Digne just taking a little pause here before taking his throw. Level with the halfway line. Throws back into his own half to Michael Keane. Across to Coleman. Closed down quickly by Josh King. Got the pass away though. Richarlison does well, holds his man off and plays it back to Schneiderlin, who moves from shade to sunshine and floats his pass away to Digne on the left hand side. Cross into the near post, easily dealt with by Cook on the volley. Ball drops on the right wing for Bournemouth. Solanke just trying to muscle his way past Delph. It's gone out for Everton throw on the left, and Delph on that yellow card is just going to have to be a little bit careful in this second half. Everton start to build again. Coleman again under pressure from Josh King. You don't get a moment's rest, do you, against Bournemouth with King, Wilson, Fraser when he's on the field. Header clear for Rico. Wins a second one for Bournemouth. Lewis Cook darts in quickly, toes it away from Coleman, keeps his run going down the left-hand side. Richarlison with the sliding challenge and out for a throw-in to Bournemouth on the left. It feels tight and evenly matched at the moment. Eddie Howe having a chuckle about something down on the sidelines there. Josh King jumps out of the way. Seamus Coleman clears with his right foot, and the ball is out for a Bournemouth throw inside their own half on the left. Win for Bournemouth, by the way, would put them sort of pretty comfortable mid-table. Would take them up to 7 points, so would put them level with the likes of Everton. A whole host of teams on 7 points at the moment in this early Premier League table. Michael Keane volleys away. Mina climbs over the back of Callum Wilson to clear. Callum Wilson wants the free kick, won't get it. Diego Rico knocks the ball out. Everton throw. It just feels like the two teams are just sort of sussing each other out again, Karen, and there's a real determination not to give an inch in the early stages of this second half.
Absolutely. Don't show your cards too early. They're just trying to neither team have got into rhythm since the break, and they've both been nullifying each other.
Right, opportunity maybe for Iwobi, but no, the ball runs away from him, and Solanke is quickly to it. Plays it across to Stacey. Didn't really have an option there, Stacey. Got closed down by Digne. He's won it back for Everton and then given it away to Solanke. Solanke across to Harry Wilson. Back to Lewis Cook, who suddenly picks up the pace. Short, stocky little figure. Goes running forward, cross to Rico. Rico with a give and go. Josh King's not going to use him. Cuts infield from that left wing on his right foot, trying to manufacture a shooting opportunity for himself. Sigurdsson is in there eventually with a header away for Everton. Iwobi gives it back to Sigurdsson. Loads of space for Richarlison on the right, and Sigurdsson, unfortunately for Everton, has not got that pass right because Ramsdale is able to get there first. They were wide open here, Bournemouth, in the left-back position.
It's like when they get an opportunity to go forward, they get so excited, they're like, right, attack, and they just leave themselves really open, when they lose the ball, and that's what Everton are doing. They're just waiting. Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, as soon as they win it, they just go, and Iwobi, they just sprint away, and they're like, go on, find us, because the back line of Bournemouth is quite slow.
Former England international Karen Carney with us here, enjoying the sunshine on the south coast. Bournemouth 1, Everton 1. Space again for Everton, lots of it. Schneiderlin under no pressure at all in midfield to Sigurdsson, able to get his pass to Coleman. Coleman looking to slide one in behind that Bournemouth defence. Trying to find Richarlison, intercepted by Rico. Rico's clearance hits Coleman and is behind for the goal kick. And Diego Rico there for a second turned to one of the ball boys and said, just hold it, just cool it.
Yeah, I think, like we just said a minute ago, they're a bit out of sort at the moment, especially when there's a quick transition. They just kind of need to reshape, get into the flow of the rhythm, get Lewis Cook on the ball, and probably also Rico's struggling. He's probably just done a 40-yard sprint after Richarlison thinking, give me a break here.
Everton with Michael Keane at centre-back, inside their own half to Mina. Watford Arsenal, second commentary here on 5 Live this afternoon. Kicking off at 4:30, then we're back into the Champions League football next week. Should mention we've got full commentary on Villa West Ham tomorrow night as well. And then Liverpool's game away at Napoli in full on 5 Live on Tuesday night. I'll be doing updates on Chelsea Valencia into that one, and back-to-back commentaries on Wednesday night from the Champions League. Spurs away to Olympiacos, the first game, and then Manchester City in Ukraine away to Shakhtar Donetsk. All commentaries on 5 Live. Schneiderlin in midfield. Bournemouth have everyone behind the ball at the moment, and it is stalemate here at the Vitality Stadium. It's 1-1. Michael Keane to his right finds Coleman in his grey boots. On to Richarlison, who's been one of the bright sparks for Everton so far today. Comes in off the right touchline, finds Iwobi just outside the box. Clever chip pass from Iwobi, looking for Richarlison again. Just time to clear for Rico. Unlucky bounce for Michael Keane there off Schneiderlin, and Bournemouth take advantage. Josh King's got the pace down the left-hand side. A couple of players to aim at in the middle as well. King up to the edge of the box, scoops it in towards Solanke. All might run for Solanke again, and Mina's there just in time for Everton. Comes across, knocks the ball behind for a Bournemouth corner. Karen Carney.
King, when he's running at you, he just causes so much problem. His pace, his power. He's driving at Keane there, and he was backing off Keane and he allows him to get in there, flicks it up. He's trying to look for Solanke, and Mina just steps in and is out for a corner.
So Diego Rico comes across. Took a great corner in the first half that led to that Bournemouth goal. This will be an away swinger from the left back. Delivers now into the box, headed down. Pickford has to slap it away. The flag's up. Offside in the penalty area, spotted by the assistant referee. So had that ended up in the back of the net, it wouldn't have counted.
That's something there. Bournemouth are really looking. We said it in the first half. Corners, especially last season, Everton conceded the most corners, conceded the most goals from corners in the whole Premier League, and they've been really, really vulnerable, over the last 18 months there. And Bournemouth really trying to get involved there and try and get a goal off another set play.
Callum Wilson was the player caught offside, lurking in that 6-yard box looking for the rebound. Everton have gone long here, and it's landed at the feet of Richarlison, 25 yards out, looking for the run of Sigurdsson down the right. Another overhit pass when Everton were getting into a good position, and it's gone behind for the goal kick. Here comes a change, early change in the second half. Ryan Fraser is coming on. Harry Wilson is coming off. 11 minutes into the second half. No surprise really to see Ryan Fraser being brought into the action. It just offers something a little bit different, doesn't he, from Harry Wilson, Karen?
Yeah, Wilson's done nothing wrong. He hasn't really been wholly in the game. But I think Fraser's just so tenacious, isn't he? Especially when there's a bit of a fight going on and teams are nullifying. He just comes up with the goods, and he's going on to that right-hand side. And he's just such a handful. He's just a little terrier, isn't he? You just don't want to play against him, and he's really improved over the last 18 months.
7 Premier League goals for Ryan Fraser last season, but I guess more importantly 14 assists, which was only one less than Eden Hazard, who topped that chart. Here's Richarlison, 12 minutes into the second half. BBC Radio 5 Live at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 1, Everton 1. Fraser straight into the action, beat Digne to the ball. Digne had to foul him because he was getting away down the right for Bournemouth. He was inside his own half, but he could have very quickly scampered forward there, and Digne did what he had to do.
He knew exactly what he was doing there, because Fraser had him for pace, and again Bournemouth would have been counter-attacking and Everton would have been really, really vulnerable. So it's one of those clever fouls, and you'll think, oh, take the yellow card for the team there.
So Digne and Delph on the yellow cards for Everton. That's poor from Rico. Maybe he is a little bit tired, Diego Rico, and losing concentration, because that was a simple pass. He's just knocked straight out of play on the left-hand side. Well,
he hasn't played too much, has he, to be fair? And you know, you can do all the training all you want, but the intensity of a game, and especially a Premier League, and against the players that he's up against today, who are all fast, energetic players, he's probably thinking, could do with a few more match minutes there.
Richarlison, Everton's best player so far, would you say, Karen?
Yeah, absolutely. He's just don't give him enough of the ball. You know, if I'm playing and I know that someone's having such a good game, or they've been on fire the last couple of weeks, every time I'm getting the ball, I'm looking for them. Can I feed them? Can I feed them? Can I feed them? And Everton just don't give the ball quick enough and early enough to their best players. And I would be giving it to him all day, every day.
Everton have given the ball away here, and then Solanke, that's a poor pass infield, couldn't find Callum Wilson. Mina's given it a big hoof clear, and this might land for Calvert-Lewin. Bounces just outside the Bournemouth area. Steve Cook gets above him, wins the header, and nods it back to Aaron Ramsdale. And Steve Cook just holding his left knee, having jumped to win the header. Maybe hurt himself as he landed. Ramsdale under pressure from Sigurdsson. Plays out calmly to the right back position, and Jack Stacey. Stacey forward to Fraser. He's facing his own goal. Iwobi's closing in. Fraser goes sliding over, thinking about getting a free kick. Doesn't get it. Throw in for Everton.
Well, that's where I'm having a go at Ramsdale there. Your centre-half's hurt his knee. And Ramsdale's throwing it out to Nathan Ake and going, go on, let's play out from the back, when my other centre-half's clearly injured. So that's the youthfulness of him, where he's got to manage that back line and manage the game a little bit more effectively and not put Bournemouth under that pressure.
A little bit of inexperience from Bournemouth's young goalkeeper. Coming up to 15 minutes played in the second half. Pickford's picked out a lovely pass there to find Digne on the left. Iwobi onto Sigurdsson. Digne in space on the left-hand side, looking for the pullback. Blocked by Ryan Fraser, and behind for the corner. Richarlison was lurking there 12 yards from goal. That is who Digne was looking for, and he was in the perfect position to shoot if he'd been able to get the ball to him.
Absolutely, and Fraser has just come on. He's just had to do that last ditch kind of tackle in there to prevent the cross and create the corner, and he's going to Stacey. Any danger? Where are you? This is your player. I should not be tracking your player. And Stacey's just not even looking at him, thinking I'm ignoring that. But you know, I'd be going mad as well if I was him.
Digne with the corner, swinging away from goal. Yerry Mina jumps. Fraser's there again. Everton fans appealing for handball. Fraser controlled that inside his own area. Hopeful shouts. None of the Everton players went up, and Fraser's turned and cleared it downfield. Out for a throw-in. Everton are having a good spell here at the moment. Paul Tierney has just said hold play for a second. So are they looking at the handball? Okay.
And Cook's gone down injured as well from that earlier incident.
Here we go then. Corner came in. Mina headed it across goal. We've not actually seen the angle yet of Fraser. Fraser was actually out of camera shot there. This will be a better one for us. Comes towards Fraser. And
not for me.
Okay.
Top of the shoulder for me, but...
Top of the left shoulder, leaning towards the ball. Stoppage in play here because Steve Cook is down. That is a concern for Bournemouth. Bournemouth 1, Everton 1.
If I was the Everton fans, I'd be chanting for that as well, for the possible handball, but not for me. Top of the shoulder.
No. Okay. Steve Cook then, just sitting inside the Bournemouth half with one of the physios, just stretching that right leg. Just having a little look at the Bournemouth bench. Chris Mepham and Jack Simpson defensive options, so certainly got the numbers there to do it. But Steve Cook is a great story, actually. Steve Cook, one of these players that's come all the way through with Bournemouth, joined them when they were in League One back in January 2012, and he cost the club just £150,000, Steve Cook, and here he is now in his 5th season as a Premier League footballer. Missed a little bit of last season actually through injury, and they do suffer, Bournemouth, when he's not there, but I think he's going to be okay. Ball by ball commentary, by the way, continues on the cricket at the Oval. As far as I'm aware, Australia still 4 down, 4 wickets down, second innings, chasing 399 to win. Key news there is Steve Smith out for 23, 142 for 4 at the moment, so England still searching for another breakthrough. And Solheim Cup singles being played at the moment at Gleneagles. It started Europe 8, USA 8 on the final day. Europe needing to win 6.5 points to win back the Solheim Cup. Full coverage over on the BBC Sport website. Ian Carter will keep us updated with that. Here's Schneiderlin. Halfway line, clever little back heel to himself, to Coleman. Coleman looking for Richarlison. Ake working hard to try and get across for Bournemouth. Richarlison's first touch gave him a chance to slide in, and he knocks the ball out for a throw. But Richarlison against Rico, Karen, is an uneven match. That is very much in Everton's favour, isn't it, that battle? Absolutely. We spoke about Rico's fitness earlier. He's been struggling for the last 5 or 10 minutes. He's not match fit. You can clearly see that. He hasn't played enough minutes. And again, just got to give Richarlison the ball in it, and he'll take him on 1v1 and get a lot of success. Coleman then waiting to take this throw in for Everton, deep in Bournemouth territory on the right-hand side. Josh King is muscling his way into the picture, just pushes Coleman off the ball, loses control, and it goes behind for the Bournemouth goal kick. Let's get the latest then from the Oval, live, Ellie Oldroyd. And this partnership between Mitchell Marsh and Matthew Wade is now worth 58 runs, and Matthew Wade has just brought up his 50 off 65 balls. Australia 143 for 4. They need another 256 runs with 6 wickets remaining. Alex Stewart, we are having vague conversations about the possibility of being back here tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah, I hope we're not, because it means England will have won if we're not back here. But no, the pitch has gone a little bit flat, the ball's that little bit softer, therefore it's doing far less than it had done early on. But to be fair, Wade and Marsh have played nicely. Yes, Marsh has had a little bit of luck with that LBW decision overturned because of a no ball, but otherwise they're batted pretty safely and pretty securely. Back here from Steve Cook, sorry to jump in, very nearly gave a goal to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Bournemouth have managed to get the ball away. Ellie, just remind us of the latest score. Yeah, it is 143 for 4, the point when Steve Smith was out and everyone thought, right, that's it, England will rattle through. Hasn't quite happened. Thank you, Ellie. As I say, ball-by-ball commentary continues with the Test Match special team on 5 Live Sports Extra. Bournemouth 1, Everton 1. Steve Cook did well initially to get back and get to that ball first, and then sold his goalkeeper short, and Bournemouth had got away with one. Brilliant skill from Josh King, was caught as he played the pass, down and hurt on the left-hand side, but play continues. Rico looking for the run of Solanke. Michael Keane is able to play it back to Pickford. Pickford closed down by Callum Wilson, got his pass away in time. King is off the pitch, down hurt at the moment, and needs to get back into the action for Bournemouth. Hobbles on, and then suddenly breaks into a sprint to win the ball from Seamus Coleman. Sigurdsson has it though, 40 yards from goal for Everton, billing in strongly on Sigurdsson. Fair challenge, says referee Paul Tierney, who was right on top of that as well. Sigurdsson not happy. Jack Stacey tackled by Luca Digne, and throw in for Everton on the left-hand side. It's a real arm wrestle of a second half this at the moment. Both teams sort of straining against each other, and neither team making much headway at the moment. Bournemouth 1, Everton 1. Wonder whether either manager can change it from the bench. The likes of Moise Keane possibly coming on to sort of shake things up. Josh King seems okay though, full speed down the left-hand side. Richarlison chasing, King getting away from him. Richarlison slides in, catches him, free kick edge of the box, and Richarlison gets booked. King again, he's just so powerful when he's running at pace, even for Richarlison, who's no slouch. You know, he's bolstering down that left-hand side. Richarlison goes in. Does he get a little touch on the ball? Was he unlucky? I think he clips King first, which is why the foul was actually given. He clips his heel and then he gets the ball after, but yellow card. But when he's at full pelt, you can't stop King, and you just don't want him driving into that penalty box, because then you can't even touch him at all. Yeah, a little bit naughty from Josh King that, because he did look like he was struggling about 25 seconds before he set off at full tilt with the ball at his feet down the left-hand side. Richarlison coming in with the challenge from behind.
Set piece, Karen, set piece.
All you need now is a good delivery. Fraser, we know how good he is on set plays. If he puts this on the money, we've got every good chance with how vulnerable Everton are at defending set plays.
Diego Rico, ball in hands, whistle blown, puts it down. Fraser, low ball in, it goes all the way through. Ryan Fraser celebrates the goal for Bournemouth. They lead 2-1. Everton again so susceptible to the set piece. Fraser put it into the danger area. I'm not sure whether Fabian Delph got a touch on the way through, but Pickford couldn't see it. He was beaten. The referee will wait for the video assistant referee to clear the goal, and Jordan Pickford's come over for a word with Paul Tierney about the goal, but it's Bournemouth 2, Everton 1.
But look, everyone was thinking he was going to whip it in high, and Fraser just put it in low into an area, and Delph swings his left foot at it instead of it being his right foot, and it's kind of nicked and it's gone in. But even if Delph didn't touch it, for me that was always going in. But again, question marks. Why is Delph in that position at the near post when he's left-footed? Should be a right foot, because if it's a right foot then he can clear it away. So again, it's the setup of Everton, and that's probably why they're conceding goals. But fantastic delivery from Fraser, and when you said put it on the money, that was on the money.
Plenty of fancy managers, I know, with their fantasy teams will be delighted with that news that Ryan Fraser has the goal. Bournemouth lead 2-1. Callum Wilson chests the ball down, chance for another, gets muscled out of it, corner to Bournemouth, wicket at the Oval. Ellie Oldroyd.
Mitchell Marsh is out, having had several chances, and Joe Root has taken the wicket. Caught it short leg, Joss Butler. Marsh out for 24, and Australia are 148 for 5.
Certainly livened up here at the Vitality Stadium into the last quarter of the game. Bournemouth leading Everton 2-1. Another set piece coming Everton's way. Corner for Bournemouth. Ryan Fraser will take this from the left, holds his arm up in the air, high one, deep one to the far post, headed away. Lewis Cook is there, clips the ball back in towards Wilson, tries to volley it. Offside flag was up, wouldn't have counted. Free kick for Everton. So you're right, Karen, if you're playing against Everton at the moment and you're getting free kicks and corners, it's a real window of opportunity.
I think it's because you look at the leaders. Who's the leaders in this Everton team that are organising, getting people in early, getting shape, making sure everyone's in the right setup? And I'm looking and I think, I'm not sure who it is. I'm not sure who that person is that's going to drag someone in and say, you stand here and clear this ball. But they look so vulnerable.
Luca Digne on the turn, clearing with his left foot down that left-hand touchline. Iwobi stretches, can't get there. Fabian Delph for Everton. A little bit more urgency about the movement now, heading towards the last 20 minutes of the game. Bournemouth looking for a second win of the season, first home win of the season as well. And here's Josh King again, nods the ball down to himself, crosses the halfway line, chased by Schneiderlin and Coleman. Schneiderlin, good challenge, slides in, and that'll be a throw-in to Bournemouth on the left. Bournemouth fans, you can hear making some noise around us in this stand that runs alongside the touchline. Double change, Karen, coming for Everton. Moise Keane and Bernard.
Well, they definitely need a change, and I think Iwobi's struggled a little bit, so you might see Iwobi and Calvert-Lewin coming off if I was a betting person, which I'm not, but I think they would be two that you might look to bring off.
Ball bouncing down on the edge of the Everton penalty area. Michael Keane wins a stooping header to the feet of Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson to Richarlison. Good 1-2. Sigurdsson already looking forward, trying to find Calvert-Lewin with the pass. Calvert-Lewin moved into the offside position. He had to go right. Richarlison was never going to catch it, and the ball has gone out for a throw-in to Bournemouth in their left-back position. So here comes the changes. Moise Keane is going to come on for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Those numbers have already gone up. And the other change, where's the number 10 gone up? Sigurdsson. Okay, Sigurdsson.
So Iwobi's perhaps going into more central role. Bernard going on that left-hand side where Iwobi was.
Yeah.
And Keane going up top for Calvert-Lewin.
Throw in Bournemouth. 20 minutes to play. Taken by Diego Rico down the line. Schneiderlin heads it forward. Lewis Cook clears for Bournemouth. 2 headers there. 3 headers from Everton. Richarlison with the third one. Across the field to Bernard. Bournemouth able to collect it inside their own half. Lewis Cook misplaces a pass. Keane intercepts. Tight for Seamus Coleman on the right-hand side. Running away from Solanke. Solanke wins the ball under a bit of pressure inside his own half. Done very well for Bournemouth there. Gives it to Rico, who floats his pass straight out of play.
I know we spoke about Calvin Lewin before the game, but I'm actually looking at it from a different angle now. I'd be really disappointed coming off if I was him, because he gets such a hard time that the quality up to him is just not good enough, and he's come off, his confidence must be, he's scored and he's thinking, right, this is my chance. And he must be coming off now, rock bottom again.
Oh, Callum Wilson played through, offside flag stays down, great chance for Wilson, and he's taken it. And Jordan Pickford looks at his defenders and shrugs and says, what can I do about that? Callum Wilson, cool as you like, in the one-on-one. Bournemouth 3, Everton 1.
Well, Everton, what are you doing there? From a throw-in, clears it half-heartedly. Coleman there, playing everybody on. And Wilson just left 1v1 with Pickford, who was out of goal as well. And all he had to do was just get it on target. And that's 3-1. It's a smart little finish. He's kind of lobbed it over him, but Pickford actually gave up in essence, because he thought, I can't do nothing about this. It's just too much of a golden chance for Wilson to score. But shocking defending from Everton.
Callum Wilson and Jordan Pickford having a little conversation after the goal. Wilson has won the one-on-one battle. England teammates, of course, and Callum Wilson, having watched Tammy Abraham score a hat-trick for Chelsea yesterday, knows he's the kind of player who'll be snapping at his heels for a place in that England squad next summer. Important thing here, though, is Bournemouth now lead Everton by 3-1, just over 15 minutes to play. Back to Gleneagles, Solheim Cup, Ian Carter.
It couldn't be closer. Europe up in 4, the United States up in 4. 4 matches all square, and it's 8 all, remember, from the foursomes and 4-ball action. The top match has gone to the 18th, all square between Saganda and Kang. It really could not be closer, Ali.
OK. Ian will keep us posted throughout the afternoon. We've got Watford Arsenal on the way at 4:30. Emma Jones and Robbie Savage taking the calls on 6:06 tonight, after the football match of the day 2, by the way, for the highlights from the Premier League action, is on BBC One at 10:30, and you will see defensive frailties from Everton, won't you, Karen?
Yeah, and I kind of laughed. Marco Silva just sat down in a sulk on the bench, and he's thinking, just again, naivety, not organisation from a defensive throw-in. Well, it was a throw-in in general, and they just switch off.
Yep.
All the time. They never ever switched on. And Pickford there's he's going mad at his 2 centre-halves, Keane and Mina, going, why are you so spread out? You know, there's nothing I can do in goal here. You're absolutely killing me. I can't defend that. And it's just the concentration from Everton all the time. It's like you have to stay in the game, because one split second, for someone like Wilson, boom, straight in, 3-1, game over effectively.
Here's Moise Keane getting his first touch of the afternoon. He's fouled as well. He wasn't knocked over. He's a big, powerful lad, is Moise Keane, the 19-year-old Italian striker, looking for that first goal for Everton. They need one quickly here. They've got a free kick midway inside the Bournemouth half. In this age of VAR, when the offside flag stayed down, and from the situation that came from, I thought, well, that might be a tight one. Let's just wait and see. He was miles onside. He timed his run perfectly, but Everton were just wide open at the back. Free kick, 3-1 down. There was a 3-3 draw here a few seasons ago between these two. Dinia's curling it in, headed away bravely under pressure by Billing. Rico clears with his left foot. Lewis Cook is the furthest forward for Bournemouth to chase it. Seamus Coleman is there first. Cook's going to try and stick with him. Coleman gets away from him. Billing misses his challenge on Iwobi. Iwobi was almost pulled back. He keeps going. Chance for Everton here, up to the edge of the box, looking for Keane. Poor pass from Iwobi. Fraser's able to clear. Josh King jumps with Michael Keane, and the decision goes Bournemouth's way. Michael Keane, frustrated, kicks the ball into the advertising hoardings. And Paul Tierney's going to come over and have a word with Lewis Cook as well. So Bournemouth 3, Everton 1. The job for Bournemouth now, Karen, is to shut it down professionally. They've got themselves 2 goals ahead. Obviously take any chances if they come. But considering the games we've seen between these two teams, last season it was 2-2, a few years ago it was 3-3. Just got to close it down.
But they've got to see the game out, like you said, and it looks like they're going to bring on Lerma now just to see up that midfield and the defence. They don't need to go and get goals. They don't need to go gun-ho. They just need to now not concede, and they win the game comfortably.
Digne on the left-hand side. Well, Bernard wasn't making that run down the left for him. Digne was looking for the pass down that channel. Ryan Fraser covered the ball and just lets it run behind for the goal kick. 14 minutes to play. Jefferson Lerma coming on for Lewis Cook. And you can probably hear around the Vitality Stadium. A standing ovation for 22-year-old Lewis Cook. That his first appearance for Bournemouth since the 4th of December 2018, when he suffered a very nasty knee injury against Huddersfield, and he really was making great strides at that point, a regular starter in Bournemouth's central midfield. This is a man who has played football for England. One cap he won as a substitute against Italy in March 2018. Lovely to see a player come back from an injury like that, Karen.
Absolutely, and to get the minutes he's got today. He's played on Tuesday night, he's played today, his first game back. It looked like he's never been away. As a player, you think, I've been away for a year, you might be a little bit, slow behind. He's looked so comfortable, and he's been a massive miss for Bournemouth, and you could see it, and that's why the fans stood up and cheered him, because he's been outstanding today.
Bournemouth have quite a few players out injured at the moment still to come back. Simon Francis, Dan Gosling, new signing the Dutch winger Arno Danjuma, Junior Stanislas, David Brooks, who was so impressive last season, Lloyd Kelly, yet to play a game for the club, signed from Bristol City for 13 million this summer. So squad's going to get stronger when they get fit. They're leading Everton 3-1. Coleman's ball in field is a hopeful one. Everton look like they've run out of ideas a little bit here. Bournemouth look the more likely to score again. Wilson using the pace of King down the left-hand side. Solanke making ground in the middle. King with a couple of step-overs into the box, crosses into the far post. Digne is there, brings it down brilliantly and balletically at the far post on his left foot. Forward to Bernard. Jack Stacey, good job. Oh, he's hurt himself. Stacey's hurt himself making the challenge. As soon as he won the tackle and knocked the ball out of play, he put his arm up as if he needed attention. 12 minutes to play. Bournemouth 3, Everton 1. And not necessarily a risky team selection from Eddie Howe today, Karen, but he changed things up. Lewis Cook back in that midfield, Jack Stacey starting at right back, Rico at left back. It's going to be a very, very pleasing win from that regard as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, but before you asked me that, actually, I was thinking more of the Everton selection now, looking at it and going, they had that good win, good performance, against Wolves, and he's changed the team. I know the international break kind of killed the momentum, but why did he change it? The front three was playing well, doing well. I watched them against Wolves, they looked very good. The balance was right, and he's changed the team. And if you're an Everton fan, you're thinking, why did he do it? Just the team won. Just pick the same team. It's a no-brainer, and he's made changes in it, and it hasn't worked here today, and they've looked very much out of sort.
It's Karen Carney with us here on 5 Live Sports. Stephen Warnock is with John Murray this afternoon at Watford Arsenal. That is our second Premier League commentary for you today. Marco Silva is sat in the visiting team's dugout with his hands clasped together, looking extremely disconsolate and grumpy about what he's seen, particularly in this second half from his team. Bournemouth 1, Everton 1. Everton getting back into this game just before half-time with a goal from Calvert-Lewin on the counter-attack, but now finding themselves 3-1 down. Ryan Fraser's free kick deflected in by Fabian Delph, although we think Ryan Fraser will be getting that goal. The shot was on target, whether Jordan Pickford would have saved it or not. And Callum Wilson with his second in the one-on-one when Everton just went to sleep from a throw-in. Schneiderlin's ball is not going to find a teammate. Fraser, though, has headed it straight down to Moise Keane. Bernard, back to Keane, lays it off to Iwobi, great save from Ramsdale, back to Richarlison, and then he volleys it miles wide, snatched at the attempt. Bournemouth goal kick.
That was a big moment, because if that went in, nervous times here, but again, Iwobi, Keane, Richarlison all linking up. Ball gets played into Keane, turns, gets a little touch tackle, it falls to Iwobi, who has the shot just outside the box. He hits it right at the goalkeeper, disappointingly, and the rebound comes to Richarlison, who doesn't even hit the target, and that sums up Everton's afternoon.
I think Richarlison's coming off here. He is.
I think he's been complaining with a slight hamstring injury for the last, 5 or 10 minutes, and
yeah,
I don't know whether he's thought, just get me off here. I actually wouldn't put that in that mind. He's thinking, get me off here, it's not working today.
Well, if he does even have a slight concern about a hamstring injury, then it's wise to get him off, because if this game has gone, Walcott's come on. I mean, a decent replacement as well, fresh, quick down that right hand side up against Diego Rico, so probably the sensible thing to do. 9 minutes to play. Marco Silva is back on his feet, arms crossed, just wondering if his team can find something here. Jefferson Lerma the Bournemouth substitute wins a header. Coleman, pass forward is intercepted. Callum Wilson gives it to Fraser. Fraser's floated ball down the left-hand side. Finds Josh King in a whole world of space again for Bournemouth, and he's got Michael Keane backpedaling. Oh, Josh King, what are you doing there, trying to win a free kick? He danced past Keane and then he threw himself so theatrically to the floor to try and win it. Didn't get it. Bournemouth now win the ball back, but Jefferson Lerma's been penalised for the challenge on Fabian Delph. But Paul Tierney is looking at that from Josh King and saying that, my friend, is a dive, although he's not booked him for it.
That's what I was just about to say. If he's dived, then why is he not giving me a yellow card? Not sure there.
Yeah. Were my 606 partner Chris Sutton sitting alongside me, I know what he'd be saying. Josh King, you're better than that. 8 minutes remaining in this second half. Bournemouth closing in on a second win of the season. Bournemouth 3, Everton 1. Team news at Vicarage Road. John Murray.
Well, Quique Sanchez-Flores makes 3 changes from Javi Gracia's last starting lineup. Deulofeu, Capoue and Holebas are in for Pereira, Janmaat and the injured Cathcart. Record signing Sarr is only a substitute. Danny Welbeck not involved against his former club. 2 changes for Arsenal, which see Mesut Ozil starting his first appearance of the season. Ceballos also comes in with Torreira on the bench and Lacazette absent injured.
Thank you, John. Commentary on the way at 4:30 here on 5 Live. And that was the point you were making, Karen, before the game about Arsenal and Lacazette missing. Mesut Ozil makes the first start of the season for Arsenal. There's talent there.
It's not bad, is it? You know, Lacazette out, Ozil in. It's not bad at all.
7 minutes remaining in this game. If Everton can find a goal, then it may just get a little nervy for Bournemouth, but they're in control at the moment, leading 3-1. Steve Cook wins a header and nods it out of play for an Everton throw on the left. Digne takes it. Playing the ball back to Yerry Mina. Mina across the halfway line here to Michael Keane. Walcott to Coleman. Coleman's ball forward, chested down by Ake, intercepted. Diego Rico to Wilson. Lovely flick from Wilson round the corner, asking King to chase. And Michael Keane, under pressure, has stumped it out of play for a corner. He's claiming he was fouled by Josh King there, and that's why he's hit that so hard, so clumsily behind his own goal line. But Bournemouth get the corner. Be interesting to hear from Everton fans on 606 tonight. Emma Jones and Robbie Savage taking the calls. They'll probably have a word, Karen, I think, about team selection. They may want a word about defending set pieces.
Absolutely. I think Robbie will be keen to put his opinions in there. You know what he's like. He's never short of them, is he? Saw him on Tech Ball yesterday. Not sure how he won that on old BT.
Against you?
No, I was watching, thankfully.
Okay.
That's not my game, that's his.
Ryan Fraser with the corner here for Bournemouth. 6 minutes remaining in this second half. Fraser curls it in with his right foot. Drops down. Philip Billing with a right-footed volley is blocked. Seemed almost lackadaisical in striking that Billing, just trying to sort of stroke it in the bottom corner. But again, Everton, ball came into the box and there was chaos in there. Ball sort of hitting bodies and bouncing around and giving the opposition opportunities. And now a loose pass across the field, which Ryan Fraser, with this game coming to a close, has decided not to play forward. He's just let it run across his body and out for a throw-in to Bournemouth.
I think the biggest thing for Everton is the leadership issue now. You know, you look down, as heads down, Bernard, Iwobi, Walcott, you know, all their heads are down. There's no one really galvanising the team. I know it's 3-1, but should never have got to that in the first place, and that's why they concede on set plays and just the lack of leadership in this team.
Josh King's suddenly gone down. That seemed off the ball to me. Bournemouth 3, Everton 1. Latest from the Oval, Ellie Oldroyd.
And it's tea here, Ali. 167 for 5 is the score. And we thought just for a moment that Tim Payne had just got caught out in this final over before tea, falling just short, though, of Sam Curran off the bowling of Jack Leach. But England, just the 2 wickets in the session, going to have to be patient, aren't they?
They are, and they have been patient, which has been good to see, because very rarely do you bowl a side out for next to nothing in the 4th innings of a game when the pitch is still playing well. But 167 for 5, England will be very, very happy. They've still got 4 sessions left to win this game, but more importantly, can they finish it today? Can they take 5 sessions in the last 2 hours plus the extra half hour if required?
Matthew Wade is still there on 60. He was having a little conversation with Ben Stokes as they walked off the field together at tea. A lot of interesting debate about what was said on the field yesterday. Matthew Wade is known as one of the chattier members of this Australian side, shall we say. Australia need 232 more runs to win. They're 167 for 5 at tea.
Iwobi very nearly had a shooting opportunity from close range there for Everton. It was worked to him by Theo Walcott. Steve Cook got a foot in the way just in time. Everton desperately looking for a way back into this game, running out of time fast. 3 minutes plus added time to play. Bernard into Keane. Moise Keane couldn't control it. Diego Rico looks exhausted, comes across. Look at him, he's dragging his body back to the left back position. Fabian Delph is on the ball for Everton. Pleased I didn't have to rudely interrupt Alex Stewart that time. Ellie and Alex Stewart providing us with the updates on 5 Live Sport this afternoon. Watford Arsenal on the way in full. 6:06 with Robbie and Emma Jones to follow that. Here's Iwobi, 35 yards from goal, playing it back to Yerry Mina. Mina to his left, finds Digne. Digne to Bernard, back to Mina. Bournemouth quite happy to hold Everton here. Mina towards Moise Keane, he can't do too much with that. Steve Cook does a good job on him. Bernard quickly nips in to get the ball back for Everton before Ryan Fraser could get there. Michael Keane's got it on the halfway line. 2.5 minutes plus added time to be played. Here's Iwobi. Iwobi's ball forward, intercepted by Billing. Iwobi's won it back with strength. Billing still down on the floor. Iwobi plays it to the right. Here's Seamus Coleman, crosses deep towards the far post. Fraser's there, taking absolutely no chances. Powers the header behind for the Everton corner.
That's what Everton should have been doing for the last 25 minutes, attacking down this right-hand side. You said that Rico looked exhausted, and he really does. Why not go and exploit him, go and overload him, put him under pressure? And they just haven't done that. They just haven't used their intelligence enough for me, Everton, today, and they've just been slightly naive.
Luca Digne with the corner for Everton. We're in the 89th minute of the game, into that near post. Got it away by Steve Cook. He's been everywhere for Bournemouth again in this second half, snuffing out the danger. Throw in for Everton on the left-hand side. Remember, Bournemouth's first season in the Premier League. This game between these two finished 3-3. Ross Bartley gave Everton the lead in the 95th minute. Stanislas equalised in the 98th. It ain't over till it's over, but Bournemouth closing in on the win at the moment. Here's Delph. A lot of Everton possession here, but Bournemouth dealing with it quite comfortably. Danger for them down the left. Bernard onto the ball. Clever trick from him. Right foot drives the shot, takes a deflection. The far post. Iwobi tries to get on the end of it. And then Nathan Ake jumps in and bravely clears. Bournemouth players are down. Billing was in there. Just threw his body in the way of Alex Iwobi as he tried to head across the line. And Philip Billing has stayed down. Brave defending from him. He is moving. He's okay. It's what you've got to do, Karen, to defend your goal.
Absolutely, but it's good play from Bernard down his left-hand side. He's chopped. He's cut it across. Gone for the shots, blocked, and like you said, Billing puts his body in front of the ball there to stop Iwobi from getting a simple tap in. But fantastic defending. But all along, that's what Everton should be doing, getting down the sides of the fullbacks of both Bournemouth and getting at them, beating them 1v1, and that's where the joy would have been today, but it's just been too late now.
Billings hurt himself because he basically got the full weight of Alex Iwobi on top of him. Iwobi went for the header. Billings stretched one of those long legs of his that he was telling us about before the game out, and Iwobi just came crashing down on top of him. He's been a good signing so far for Bournemouth. Philip Billing, at £15 million from Huddersfield, he's done a good job in there today.
He's a good player and he's young, and he's still got a lot to learn defensively in my opinion, but in possession he's fantastic. He reads the game very well. Just that defensive work now he's just got to get a little bit better at, but that will come.
One of the things he said to me actually in the interview, Karen, was learning about reading the game. He actually described himself as a clever player. He sort of prided himself on that, but he was talking about often going to ground too early and sort of learning when to, jump in and staying on your feet and all that sort of thing. Callum Wilson's almost in for the hat-trick. Yerry Mina was trying to run him off the ball, and Jordan Pickford is out to the edge of his 6-yard box to clear quickly for Everton, but again not dealt with well defensively by Everton. I think it's concerning for Everton from that point of view. Throw in for Bournemouth on the left. They lead 3-1. Next break in play, we'll get back to Glen Eagles and find out how those final day singles are progressing in the Solheim Cup. But Josh King is working his way down the left-hand side for Bournemouth, holding Schneiderlin off. Schneiderlin with the tackle. Throw in for Bournemouth. They'll take their time. Ian, what's the latest?
Well, the news is good from a European point of view. They have the very first point of this singles. Carlotta Ciganda winning the last against Danielle Kang to take that point and put Europe 9-8 up. And 2 matches further down, Georgia Hall is 2 up with 3 to play. But it is desperately close on this leaderboard.
Full coverage continuing on the BBC Sport website. Magic number for Europe is 14.5. Currently leading 9-8. And Georgia Hall in good shape to make that 10 points to 8, which will put a little bit of pressure on the American team. England chasing 5 wickets at the Oval, 167 for 5 at T. Australia. Here's Theo Walcott for Everton. 5 minutes of added time being played here. Bournemouth leading 3-1. Steve Cook there again for Bournemouth, sliding in, taking it off Walcott. It runs back to Iwobi. Schneiderlin plays across the Bournemouth half to Delph. Delph's got Digne in space on the left-hand side to Bernard. Little give and go, chip pass, Digne's floated cross, blocked by Ryan Fraser, who actually has been as good defensively, Karen, hasn't he, since coming on for Bournemouth as he has going forward, Ryan Fraser.
He's really helped Stacey out. He probably hasn't got a lot of minutes on his belt, Stacey, because he's new into the team, and Fraser's come in and really give him that support and encouragement and tracking back and doing the dogged work that sometimes you need to do as a winger that you don't want to do at times.
Corner then for Everton. Digne takes it, swinging away. Mina jumps. It comes to Walcott on the edge of the box. Oh, he didn't hit that properly at all. Sort of scuffs it into the ground and it bobbles into the arms of Aaron Ramsdale. My stopwatch tells me we played 3 minutes of the 5 minutes added time. So Everton need 2 goals in 2 minutes, and Bournemouth want to make a change as well, just to sort of break up the rhythm a little bit. Chris Mepham is waiting to come on. Eddie Howe's just told Ramsdale, I think, to boot the ball out of play to make the change, unless he was just saying get rid. Fraser heads it forward. Callum Wilson still wants this hat-trick. Just a little barge there on Seamus Coleman to try and knock him off balance. Coleman has the ball down by the byline on the right. Clears. Has it gone out of play? Yes, it has gone out of play for a throw-in to Bournemouth on the left. Here comes the change. Chris Mepham's coming on for Diego Rico, who, as we said, he almost needs to be carried off the pitch, Karen. Diego Rico. He's really puffing and panting.
He's given everything he can today, and it hasn't been easy against the pace and power of Iwobi, now Theo Walcott, Moise Keane. Just Everton's front line is pure pace, and when you haven't played a lot of games and you haven't got a lot of minutes behind you, he'll be feeling that tomorrow.
Just over a minute to play. Ball is down at the Everton end. They're trailing 3-1. They've won a free kick. Coleman wanted to go quickly there, looked up, and there was no Everton player forward for him to hit. Callum Wilson's going to slow it down just by standing right in front of the ball. Michael Keane's complaining. Bournemouth going to be good value for this win, do you think, Karen? Deserve the 3 points?
Yeah, I think they have. I think Everton have been naive and haven't performed, and individually players haven't stepped up, and I thought Bournemouth have had some really good performances today, took their chances very well. So yeah, I think they deserve the 3 points.
Philip Billing again is there for Bournemouth, takes it off Iwobi. Iwobi's trying to win it back off Josh King. King's just trying to keep it for Bournemouth now and run the clock down. He's doing it really well. Chased by Schneiderlin and Coleman, shoved over by Coleman, and it's going to be a late yellow card. Actually, Schneiderlin gets the yellow card for the challenge. The pair of them made the tackle. Josh King doing a fantastic job for his team. So Everton are going to lose the game. They've conceded some poor goals. They've picked up 4 yellow cards in the game, and they are a bit of an enigma. Everyone talking this season about the improvement towards the end of last season, the 3-2 win against Wolves, the win against Watford. Were they going to challenge the top 6? And you watch them on today's performance and you don't think they're anywhere near that. Full-time whistle blows. The 2 managers shake hands. 2 goals in the second half for Bournemouth. Ryan Fraser off the bench to make the difference. His free kick deflected in by Fabian Delph. And then Everton just going to sleep for Bournemouth's 3rd goal. Callum Wilson got played in, miles onside, stuck it past Jordan Pickford. And as things stand after 5 games of the Premier League season, Karen, Bournemouth are on 7 points and Everton are on 7 points as well. There's some thinking for Marco Silva to do there, I think.
Yeah, he's got to get his team selection right, in my opinion. I don't think he got it right today. I don't think he got it tactically right. I think the weaknesses for Bournemouth were down their sides with their fullbacks, and I think they just played too narrow, and I thought it was quite a naive tactical performance by Everton, and they didn't deserve anything from today's game.
Margot Silva looks dejected. The Everton players exactly the same, but they are doing the decent thing. They are going over to the travelling supporters who come here in their numbers. I'm sure they've enjoyed an afternoon in the sunshine. That stand they sit in has been in blazing sunshine all afternoon. But yeah, frustrating performance from Everton. Really good win for Bournemouth. First home win of the season. It's finished Bournemouth 3, Everton 1.